It was in the
Like,
vicinity,
if the
but
fob
it was
wasn't
not
in
in
the
the circle.
circle. Might be a map marker issue rather than an
Every single one on this
obfuscation
map, though,
issue.
every single one on this map, on Goro, are accurate.
Yeah, the Goro map
Okay,
itself is out of alignment.
But the Goro map itself is also out of alignment. So-
Yeah, we need to. That's because we need to fix it.
What are we like attack to our...
Yeah, what are you doing on?
That's leftovers from
I don't
2.12
know, it's-
that I forgot to have you do.
Map,
Gotcha.
the fucked up map is like impossible to communicate.
Oh, the heli works now.
I think it's because the vehicle that was there that damaged it got moved off of live. You're talking about the helicopter that was damaged off of live, right?
Yeah, every time he spun it up, it would chop the.
So I think what happened was there was some sort of vehicle volume that was like interfering with the rotor rotation or something, and then that vehicle got moved. Like it dissipated the volume to the left.
Did you make a custom collision box for that one?
Your mic.
To resupply.
I can't hear you. Your mic quality is garbage, and there's explosions. Say that again.
The helicopter resupply. Did you make a custom box for that, or did it already have one?
I think it already had one.
Okay.
You were saying there weren't enough spawners for the other vehicles. So
Okay,
right,
I'm gonna address my chat real fast. Sorry. Hey, what's up, chat? Today we are testing our squad mod. So, if you have not heard of dynamic direction, there is a link pinned in the chat that links you to a post talking about it. But in general, today what we're going to be doing is just observing the mod. Maybe we'll play a couple rounds, noting down bugs. The server's up. It's Karma Community Occupation Only. Use your mic. That is the server if you want to get in. It is public. It is our first playtest of this version. So please understand that there are things that are not working as intended, that are bugged and need to be fixed. If you play and you run into these bugs, check the DD feedback channel on my Discord at discord.gg/Karmakut. So let's talk about what dynamic direction is, because it is not a facelift, it is a rework of squad, which means that we don't have any like fancy factions like MEE or any new assets. We're not really focused on that. That comes second to gameplay changes. Okay, so this is first and foremost a gameplay rework of squad. So a lot of you guys might remember this game mode because it was played maybe like a year or so ago, but we've revived it now that we've updated it to the current squad version. But basically what this does is it's essentially making the game a little bit more open, a little bit more, I guess you could say, dynamic, right? And giving you a little bit more freedom while also remaining extremely thematic. I know I just threw a whole bunch of buzzwords at you. But let's start from this way. Playing squad with 3,000 hours, I started to notice certain things that I disliked about squad, certain things that I had issues with gameplay-wise, and certain gameplay loops I did not enjoy. So let's start with what I perceive to be subjectively, right, some of the problems within squad and why and how we've modded to change them. The first problem that I have in squad is the fucking AAS meta, or the pressure, the gameplay loop of AAS just doesn't feel like it's utilizing squad systems to the max. And what I mean by that is, in AAS, like on this layer, you would have one flag here, one flag here, one flag here, one flag here. The mentality amongst players that know how to play squad is, if you are not in the objective, you are useless, okay? Which means that, let's say if this train thing was an objective, right? If you were not within this circle and you're off over here fucking around, like dicking around out here, and you're not in the objective, you're useless. And you need to always play within these like very small cap zones too, like maybe like 300 meters across tops, right? These cap zones were very small. And then the distance from one cap zone to the next was just, it was just a ton of useless space. Like the transition from this cap zone to this cap zone here, like all this space in between was essentially useless. You want to go from one cap immediately into the next cap. So what that ends up happening is you have these wonderfully huge, beautiful maps in squad, But the actual gameplay loop of AES is I'm going to play within this 300-meter box, and then I'm going to move all the way a click or two over here, and then been playing this little 300-meter box, and then move all the way over here, and then playing this 300-meter box. And everything in between or outside is essentially irrelevant. If you build fobs way too far outside, irrelevant. If you're off dicking around in the woods and you're not in the cap, irrelevant. So what we did to address this was we made one large cap zone, and we're probably gonna mess with this zone size too. On bigger maps, probably make it even bigger. And what this does is if you are in this circle, you are relevant. You could be setting up on this hill, suppressing this fob over on this hill. You could be trying to flank around a different side. And because the objective is very large, so long as your body is in it, you are relevant. So it's not necessarily, oh, we need to play the metagame of the flag capture zone. The flag capture zone just dictates where you should be in the area, and you can then use a lot more tools to execute your objective. Whether it's not just, oh, get in the freaking circle or you're useless. You can now find strategic locations that are perhaps not directly next to, you know, quote unquote, the objective, and be relevant to the game mode. So that was one of the problems that I see. I freaking hate the AAS game mode stuff. The second thing that I hated about AAS and even Invasion to a certain extent was that the caps were set by the game mode. You don't have player agency when it comes to like objectives. I wanted player-made objectives for two reasons. The first reason why we want player-made objectives is for replayability and randomization, right? So within this zone, every time we get this zone will play differently. And this purple circle, actually, every time this map loads, will be in a different area. So maybe next time you play it, it's going to be up here. So that is the first layer of randomization that helps with replayability. The second point that helps with replayability is the fact that the fobs, we've turned fobs into objectives, okay? Because I think I absolutely hate how in Vanilla Squad, fobs are literally just team spawns. You know, it's not a forward operating base. It's just a team spawn. The meta for fobs in Vanilla Squad is to hide them in a bush or like in a quiet place, not really build them up, and then spawn your team in on them to attack and cap objectives. And they're just used temporarily as team-wide spawns. We wanted fobs or bases to feel like fobs or bases, right? Defend them, build them up, and work from them. So they are now objectives. By building fobs, you either gain tickets or decrease the enemy tickets, depending on what team you're on. We'll get into different team mechanics later. But basically, we've turned the fobs into the objectives. And by doing so, we've allowed players to dictate where they want to play. Okay? We give players the control of like, okay, you know, if you were playing normal AES, it's like, well, this is the cap zone. This is where you're playing, whether you like it or not. Now you can pick anywhere within this larger circle. Okay, you know what? You know, we're going to build up here, and we're going to defend this position, and it's going to be relevant to the game mode, okay? All right, so that's why we want player agency when it comes to them picking their objectives and giving them the freedom. Is number one, replayability. Number two, giving you the freedom as players, platoon leaders, or squad leaders to figure out how you want to play this match, okay? So I know I just barely touched on team mechanics or faction mechanics, okay? So let's get into what we actually did faction-wise that separates and makes these teams play differently. So we've separated teams in Squad into two categories. And Squad kind of already does this, but like Insurgency is like a dead game mode. Like OWI's not putting any work into Insurgency anymore. But essentially, we wanted irregular forces, which are INS and militia, to play differently and like guerrilla factions compared to conventional factions. So conventional fobs, when you place, and you can only place one fob, I think it's one fob, it might be two, we have to check the math on that, things have been a little bit buggy, but conventional factions can only place 1 to 2 fobs within the zone. If you lose that fob, it's almost, you know, it's almost game break. Like you lose the game if you lose this fob. So like this is your base in the zone. You don't just drop it and leave. You need to build it up and defend it. But this circle, to incentivize players instead of like dropping it on the outskirts here, you gain more tickets as blue 4 the closer your fob is to the center of the circle. So right here on the outside, you gain, I think it's 5 tickets. The inner, you gain 10 tickets. And I think straight in the center, you gain 15 tickets per X amount of minutes. I think it's set at 10. All the number, there's too many numbers for me to give you the, like, I can't remember what we set them to. And we're going to end up tweaking them a ton for balance. But that's generally what incentivizes Blue 4 to put their fob closer into the second circle. Militia and insurgent fobs, or IRF, or irregular forces, their fobs drain Blue 4 tickets. Okay, so there's a constant balance. So what this does is, you might say, oh, this is just going to be super fob, like Blue 4 is just going to sit back and camp their fob and just play defense. The thing is, as militia, and this is very thematic too, which was very important to us, we wanted to build this feeling that as you put more fobs down, it's a representation of how strong you are in the area, right? If militia has more fobs down, and they don't really lose much for losing fobs, you have this mounting pressure on Blue 4 to go out and hunt these fobs. You have to quell the quote-unquote resistance, right? You have to go through, find the caches, and destroy them. And Blue 4 should be constantly doing this. Because if Blue 4 just plays defense, the amount of drain that occurs from INS having map presence and controlling a lot of fobs is... the amount of tickets drained is staggering because they have a ton. Like 1 or 2 militia fobs up in the circle, not too big of a deal. You see like 5 and you're starting to bleed a ton of tickets. And so you have to go out and find these fobs. So that's another thing, is we want there to be a constant flow and just remaining dynamic as far as who's attacking, who's defending, what the objective is. Just for that replayability and to keep things, you know, pretty interesting. Because you can do a lot with what we have in place.
Have we got any squads working on a second hub?
Oh god, there's so much. Suppression. This is another thing I dislike about Vanilla Squad, is suppression is literally useless. I know when you're new to the game, it feels good to shoot, and it feels good to like shoot. You think you're suppressing the enemy, but in reality, squad suppression just does not work. It's a bad system. The sway doesn't feel good, and it's very easy that once you start getting shot at, to just, if you're just a better clicker, if you just turn around and just tap them in the head, despite getting shot at, you know? The sad reality of this is that you cannot translate or expect players to act like they are suppressed in video games if you do not add external factors. Like, getting shot at in a video game does not remotely kind of display the fear or the kind of response you would get in real life, right? Getting shot at in real life, your response is much different than getting shot in video games. So no matter how we would change these effects, or no matter how we try to, like, you know, with a vignette or the blur or whatever at the sway, it's not effective enough to force players to feel like they're actually being suppressed. So what we've done with the suppression system now is when you get shot at, there is a small flinch. I'll see if I can, maybe I can spawn in. I'm trying to see how I can display this without ruining this game. Essentially, when you get shot at, there's a flinch. Your reticle moves off, and when one person's shooting at you, it's not that bad. But when multiple people are shooting at you, it's almost debilitating. In which case, your response is either A, get to cover, which is a normal response, or B, immediately return fire in the general direction. Okay, even if it's remotely close. So suppression is actually relevant now, because in Vanilla Squad you'd never do that, because like shooting back at a player if you don't know where he is does nothing, because the suppression effect in base squad is non-existent, and I think suppression is integral to having, like, quote unquote realistic gameplay, right? So your response now when getting shot at should be much different than vanilla, because it is not easy to just turn around and, oh, I see you, headshot. Because you are actively having your aim messed with, you know, to really give you the effective suppression.
You can kill
what else do we do? Those are the major gameplay changes. So we're just gonna be floating around. I'm gonna be answering any questions. I'm gonna be noting down things, but we're just testing this, and the goal is to update it at, around once or twice a day, or once or twice. My brain is just not functioning. Once every 2 days, or about once every 2 days at least, to fix bugs, because most of the bugs are minimal. As I said before, this mod is mainly focused on gameplay changes.
Squad 5, where are you guys at? I'm pushing the left side of you right now.
And we will get to adding more factions as we get the resources, like the people to do that, and rig them up and model them and fucking animate. But that's like, that's a whole beast. And honestly, as cool as, like, it is to have different factions, what is important to me is how this game plays, not how it looks. One other thing is we've removed, I know we can see it here. Let me actually just get down on the ground here and I can show you. We removed member markers from the map, or team member markers. So if I do this, if I pull up my map, this is all I see. I see other squad leaders, and if I had people in my squad, I would see them green circles on the map. Now, what this does, obviously, is upon looking at this on the map, right, I don't have much information. And the reason for doing this, for obscuring a lot of the information on your team outside of your squad, so let me see if there's a squad open right now. So, upon joining a squad, I see all my teammates here, right? So, the intention behind this is to decrease lone wolfing, okay? Now, the only information you see on the squad is generally, like, where other squads are and where your team is. Because before in Vanilla Squad, if you have all this information of where your blueberries are, you can lone wolf. And we don't want lone wolfing to be, like, a big thing. We really don't. We want you to work, as the game name says, as a squad. So this should encourage you to stick with your squad, because you do not have the information in Vanilla Squad to just go around lone wolfing because you know where the team is, right? Because if I had all this information, I know, okay, maybe I'll lone wolf over here because I have friendlies over here. Or maybe, like, I'll come over here and lone wolf because I see where these guys are headed. Now, because you have less information, like this, you should be like, okay, I'm going to stick to where I have the information, which is where my squad is, okay? How are objectives set? So, the main purple circle is randomized upon map start every single time this map. So, whenever this layer gets played, this purple circle will be randomly generated somewhere halfway in the map, like in the center of the map, okay? Now, as far as the other objectives, those are your fobs, right? And fobs come down to player placement. So wherever you decide to put the fob down, that is an objective now. So we give you the ability to pick where you want to play, and it also makes it so that you can play this differently every time you load this map. The one thing is, like, we are looking at opening up this circle on certain maps because, like, especially on Gorodok, Balaya, you know, any of these big maps that don't have too many terrain or, like, villages, some of the distances feel weird, right? But yeah, we might open it up a little bit more to give you a couple more options, but it's pretty sizable at this point in time. Why not use the entire map? Because then it'd just take too long. If we opened it up to the entire map, if I put fobs down over here, like, the transit time would just be too long. We got to find that happy medium. So we'll probably open it up maybe a little bit more, but we do not want to have it way too big, because then I could just put my fob over here next to my main. You would put your fobs over here, and it's just like, I think it would take too long. So some happy medium in there. We're not dead set 100% of the size of the circle at this point in time. Only one blue 4 fob. Only one blue 4 fob. It is your fob. You need to protect it. You can't let it die. Also, blue 4 fobs cannot be destroyed by artillery, mortars, or charges. They can only be dug down by Op4, which means that you don't. That's another thing I fucking hated in Squad. Is like ninjaing fobs or just deleting fobs with artillery, etc. The only time you take a blue 4 fob is if you, as Op4, really control this area. If you seriously control this area and you've swept through and you're digging it down, that is the only way you would control this fob. Okay? You can't just, oh, I'm gonna lone wolf up as combat engineer and drop a charge down and now poof, the fob's gone, or drop airstrikes on it or whatever. You actually have to go through and control it.
Oh well, I can't take it.
And then dig it down, because it takes a lot to dig down.
Try now.
Another thing is, like, ninja fobs, right? I told you already, we hate ninja fobs, okay? Because, like, that's not how, I don't feel like that's how fobs should be used. It's just, it doesn't, the name sounds, is forward operating base. It should be a base, not just like this team-wide spawn. So, the first thing we've done is for conventional factions. I mean, these guys tried to cheese it in a bush, but there's a long radio so that you can't just stick it in a weird spot. There's a big radio attached to the fob now. And once again, this only gets destroyed if you dig it down for a decent amount of time, so it should only ever really go down if you have truly been wept off the fob. The second thing is, as you can see, these small red circles on all the fobs here, these will pop up after a certain amount of minutes. I think it's maybe 10 minutes after this fob's been placed. This red circle will pop up that shows the rough area of where this fob is. It is both conventional versus conventional and conventional versus irregular. And conventional versus, and they both play extremely different, right? Because conventional versus conventional is essentially a mirror matchup, but insurgent versus, or irregular versus conventional plays very much like insurgency. But it's the same game mode.
Okay, so it is.
It's a really big cap zone.
Is it possible for one specific fob to be the main objective for a certain part of the game?
I was
Yes.
just curious
Yes.
about the actual numbers of enemy players versus friendlies, and how that works.
I think you need a lead of 7 to make any significant ticket loss, and then from there on you just... Oh, Hab is under attack.
Yeah, we're gonna be going through and watching how
I just spawned in and
all this feels. All right, I'm back. How are we looking?
Yeah, weren't able to spawn. Oh, whichever it was, we were not able to spawn either.
So I'm curious
Okay.
about the hab marks currently on the map. What do those entail? Are those permanently there?
You think the one other big problem is server size?
I believe Hab is just like a normal squad, so they cancel the shred.
I'm not sure what you mean by that. That's good you can't ninja a fob. Yeah, fob ninjas annoyed the crap out of me. There was also no real incentive to defend fobs because losing a fob as like a faction in squad wasn't too punishing aside from losing the team spawn. But now, like, if Blue 4 loses fobs, they lose like 100, 200 tickets. It's a lot. Like, it really is a lot. So you want to defend and hold and build up your fob and turn it into a base. You really do. And work from that base. No, you do not have to join the Discord. Yeah, player jets are probably never coming, unfortunately. People might be stream sniping off of this. There's not really that much they can really stream snipe. Because the fobs already show up on map now, you know? These are the red circles. So that information's already given out.
Never mind, it was a friendly vehicle, I'm stupid.
Hey, we all make mistakes. You're not stupid.
How does armor and vehicles work in this? Do they respawn? Alright, so yeah.
Thank you.
We've decreased
Oh, look.
the amount of
Stupid, I
vehicles
guess.
on our maps by 1. So like what that means is at any point in time, aside from MRAP maps, there will only be 4 armored APCs or IFVs or any combination thereof. Only 4. I think in vanilla squad it's like 5, but there's only 4. They're on a 2-minute. That's another thing I hated in squad. We'll address that real fast. Is vehicle respawns and why they're so low. So
Cool, actually.
in our game mode, vehicle
It's
spawns
full, but
in
I don't
2
know how it
minutes.
is right now,
2
but
minutes.
last match,
The
or
reason for
earlier
that
this match,
is
actually,
that
no one
we
was
consider
communicating in
your
Discord chat,
drive
so
in to
it was a
main,
mess.
from main to the AO, your respawn time. Because I know, and this comes from experience from me playing tanks and Hell Let Loose and squad and postscriptum.
Technically, command chat is
The main
quiet,
problem with
so I don't know where.
vehicle spawns
Friendlies
in
are
these games, in
technically.
some of these games, excluding Hell Let Loose, and now postscriptum kind of has it fixed, is the respawn timer. So in vanilla squad, you spawn in as a tank crew,
Squad lead, pre-skated.
and you would then push in to the map. If you die, you have a like 15-minute. You have the 15-minute respawn timer, okay? Which means that you're sitting at base for 15 minutes, you AFK, or you join another squad for 15 minutes. Now, because respawn times are so low,
We came in clutch.
you are in armor squad. If you log on to the server to play armor, you can now just continually be in armor the entire time. The second thing this does is, because the drive-ins to the center are so long, it's not waiting 15 minutes and then also driving in another 15 minutes for a total respawn time of like 25-30 minutes. You just have the 2-minute wait at base and then you drive in, which is going to take you about 5-10 minutes anyways. The second reason we did this was so that now, this is kind of based off of Hell Let Loose, armor is focused on fighting other armor, right? So, like, on one map, we might have 4 strikers versus 4 BTRs, okay? Because the respawn times are so low, there should always be BTRs and strikers on the map. What that means is, as opposed to vanilla squad, what would happen in vanilla squad is, let's say one team has one BMP, one team has one Bradley, just to simplify things, right? If the one team with the BMP destroys the Bradley, the respawn time is so long and the drive-in takes long that the BMP now gets free reign to fucking shit on the entire other team for, in my opinion, way too long of a time, okay? Now, what will happen is, because we have drastically reduced that time for vehicle spawning, let's say the BMP kills the Bradley, the BMP gets maybe 5 minutes to fuck on infantry before they have to focus and worry about the striker again, or the Bradley again, okay? And so we've escalated armor from just shitting on infantry if they win one armor fight to where they're constantly fighting against other armor, okay? And if you do win those armor fights, you still get an advantage. It's just drastically shorter than in vanilla squad. Because I know we've all played these games that are like tank dominant or tank centric, to where if you lose your tank or BMP in squad in a vanilla squad match, it's like your team just gets fucking shit on and you're like, this armor crew doesn't know what they're doing. But we've kind of made redundancies with multiple vehicles being available more often all the time. And I know at first your first gut instinct upon hearing what 4 BMPs on a map is like they're gonna shit on infantry all the time. Well, no, because you have four Bradleys and they're constantly fighting each other. So it's based off of Hell Let Loose. If you played Hell Let Loose, you'll know that like armor in that game is focused on killing other armor. And when they do kill that enemy armor, they have a short period of time where they can help infantry before they know that armor comes back in. It's not like 30-ish minutes like it is in vanilla squad. How long have I wanted to mod this? Like a long time. Like whoops. Let me do this. This is not really the first time we've ever played this. We've played this mod maybe a year ago, and then V2 updated and it broke a whole bunch of our stuff, and we finally got it back to working. But yeah, I'm kind of worried about the helicopter boxes here. Oh, this might be busted. We'll see if these helicopters can spin. You feel like it'd make armor feel less serious? Well, the thing is, you still have to drive in, right? This is not fun. This part, driving in along these hills, all the way into the zone, it's not fun, you know? So you still are punished. It's just not as drastic as before.
Are you just going to drop in there to just
and you still lose tickets upon losing your vehicle. So you're still punished. You are still punished for losing the vehicle. It's just not as delicate of a balance with these changes. I'm kind of worried about these helicopters. I'm pretty sure their rotors are going to break. Any changes to logistics mechanics? Not yet. That's a whole system we want to fix. The main system we want to fix with logistics are 2 things, and these are future hopeful features. I don't know if these will actually get implemented anytime soon. But number 1 is spawning on a fob will eat either ammo or construction. So that you have to constantly be supplying these fobs, and you can't just leave the fob out there for permanent respawns. You have to constantly be running logi to these fobs. That's the first change, okay? The second change is being able to build any emplacement anywhere so long as you have a logi near it. That's the second change. So you can build up, you know, combat outposts or defensive positions that are not on your fob so long as you get some kind of construction vehicle to it. But those are the two main problems, or 2 main things I would like to change with logi. Nice to see you, Hutch. What's the name of this mod? Dynamic Direction. This is a working name. We're not set on any name, but yeah. So this one should play more like a normal squad match. Or this one should work as intended because it is conventional versus conventional. I'm hoping this layer doesn't have any problems. Will there be any changes to weapons? Like I said, factions, weapons, all that cool stuff, that takes a lot of resources, a lot of time. And primarily at the start here, we are focused on game mode and gameplay changes. I'm not too fond of making this like look pretty, like all these cool new toys, if the gameplay does not align with the intent or the direction that we're looking for. So we're prioritizing that first. Am I playing myself right now? We're going through and we're just watching how the balance is, watching how fast the games are going. If you have any feedback or want to join the Discord for discussion, it's just my Discord. There's separate channels underneath it. Yeah. Can I show you the suppression flinch? Okay, I just want to see and make sure that these helis
as commander,
work properly.
just so we can make sure those assets are working correctly. They were working correctly on the last map. I have no fucking experience, so do not go for me. Copy. Thanks, sweet car.
I'll get Fu to help me demonstrate. Hey Fu, can you admin cam? I want to show off the flinch to the stream. Can you meet me at like Echo 6?
Yeah, sure. Where? Echo 6? Okay.
So it seems like the helicopter rotors are working, which is very good.
They didn't collide.
Yeah, I don't know what was causing
I
it
was
on the
worried
previous.
based on what you said before. Alright,
Echo
yeah, spawn
6
in
to
and I'll
field
meet you.
center.
Yeah, copy.
Yeah, I flew over here in admin cam. Oh, JK. Oh, no, there it worked. Okay, cool.
Something not working properly?
No,
or?
no, no. It glitched me for a sec, but I spawned over here.
Okay.
We're good. Oh, wait. Are you on my team?
I
don't know if
I
the
think.
suppression will work on the same team. I can switch.
Oh, do you want me to? I'll switch real quick. You
Chasing
say.
enemy
I'll
vehicle.
switch
Okay,
and
alright.
fly back over.
Is the server available to play? Yes, it is. It is buggy. This is our first playtest, so just coming into this with an open mind.
Oh no, something just happened with the helicopter.
Someone crashed.
R5, Scott 8, let's try to push through into the circle, please.
Oh, we're trying. Time I'm gonna reload
I understand.
because I've got the bug right now where I respawned while I was in admin cam. And
No
then
worries.
You're
You're perpetually in the...
rejoin. Yeah, well, I'm in the black screen.
Gotcha, yeah.
I haven't had that for a while.
So no one's gotten a fob up yet.
Yeah, I think the server broadcasts are going to be key for that. Just set up a couple automated ones, like build fobs.
Mm-hmm. These guys are getting strafed on dismount.
I'm on my way. I will meet you in Echo 6 area.
No, you do not have to download the MEE mod. This is the direct, direct, dynamic,
Dynamic
direction.
It's glitched or something. I don't understand.
You're not close enough to the lodge, bro.
I gotta be like right next.
You want me to just drop it?
One fob at a time. You already have one up in the
yeah,
center.
If you want to drop it, you can drop it.
Alright, I'm dropping
Kilo
it
2
now.
is engaging enemy lodge. I'm engaging enemy lodge. On squad 2's mark. Squad 1
We got the radio down. Let's start dumping supplies.
Oh, it is 2. I
I'll
guess
go
it's 2.
down.
I'm just an idiot. Okay, I'm here.
Abby, what do you want me to do?
Yeah, just here, stand back and yeah, outside of like 10-meter range and just shoot around me.
Got it.
So this is the flinch. And obviously, like, we don't want one person shooting at you to be completely debilitating, but if you start getting, like, you can see it's exponential. So if there are more guys shooting at me, this would get even worse. So go ahead and shoot, like, maybe not mag dump, but, like, pretty fast.
Got it, will do.
And it's not that bad with irons, but when you have magnification, it's really, it gets pretty intense. So you can imagine a saw shooting at you. Like, that's full auto right there at the end. You can see it gets a little bit more. It's a little bit more direct than vanilla. Because vanilla squad, this is like eventually, like what just happens is you end up getting this weird sway, which doesn't really feel right. So it's just a little bit more kinetic. I don't know what the fucking word I'd use is. All right, I'm going to respawn. All right, thanks, Fu. That's all.
Cheers.
Can you talk about the people behind the mod? The main people who are making it is me, Rubba. Rubba is like, does all the legwork. Rubba is like the MVP. And then there's some code from Wasti in here. In your opinion, how would this mod effect encourage usage of transport speed? What do you mean transport speed? The server full already? It very well might be. It looks like it could be. I'm not entirely sure. Are weapons associated or are they vanilla? They're all vanilla factions right now. We want to encourage IFVs and APCs used as IFVs or APCs. So your main mode of transport is going to be those ground vehicles or MRABs, you know, is going to be the armored vehicles and not transports. Helicopters are still relevant and they do what normal squad helicopters do. But we removed all ground transport except for layers with helicopters in case people don't really know how to fly. Yeah. I don't know if that answers your question. So when are you gonna fix the luck of bandages? What do you mean by the luck of bandages? And what's your whole plan too on the logistics? So like I said before in logistics, there's only two main things we'd like to change to logistics slash construction. Number one is tying the construction like radius to the radius of a logi or a helicopter, so you can build up emplacements that are not even on your fob. So let's say, you know, you put the fob over here and you want to establish a fighting position on this hill. You can drive a construction logi up here and build sandbags and stuff like that up here without having to build a whole fob here. So you could build, like, I guess you could say cops, right? You could build combat outposts instead of fobs. That's a feature we want to add. The second feature that would most likely change gameplay the most is making it so that when a soldier spawns on a hab, it reduces the amount of construction or ammo on that objective. So you have to constantly supply the fobs, which logically, right, and thematically makes sense, right? You want to constantly supply fobs. Right now in Vanilla Squad, you can always spawn at a fob, even if it's at 0 ammo and 0 build. Of course, with persistent ammo, you want to have ammo on it, but you can continue spawning on it. The problem that I think that creates is, despite having no ammo and not being able to rearm, you still end up with meat grinder fobs, right? Like, everyone hates that, where it's like a meat grinder super fob. No one's really having fun, but defenses and getting wiped off and attackers can't take it. right? So now what attackers can do is secure the area around the fob and quote-unquote siege it, right? Or you cut supplies off to it, and you'll slowly, eventually, that fob's gonna run out of tickets, they'll stop spawning, and you can take it, right? So opening up another route to destroy and eliminate fobs, aside from we're gonna just get on the point and kill them all, it's now you can starve them out, which just logically and thematically makes sense, right? And now what that additionally does is it makes lodges more important. You'll see convoys of lodges. You'll see ambushes going up on roads where lodges are coming in from, which you kind of already do see. I'm not gonna lie. You see ambushing lodges a little bit in Vanilla Squad, but you honestly don't. You don't see it too much. Oh, we also have Pro Mod enabled on the server. But that's just gonna take time and figuring out if it is possible. And I want to make 8 promises, but like that, we would love to have that.
Alright, got a UAV coming in.
Just like the mod says, dynamic direction, right? Our goal with this mod is to give the players multiple options, multiple win conditions, multiple strategies, and truly open up the battlefield to the players, right? We don't want to lock you in and say, this is the objective, get in the objective. All right, here's the next objective, get in this objective.
What happened up north?
Because as a new player to squad, you might think, oh, this game has a lot of strategies. But once you play a lot of AAS, you realize there is one meta. It is get on the objective, set up defense fobs and attack fobs, and just pile on the objective. There's not really too much creative or strategic thinking outside of that after you put in a ton of hours, right? Unfortunately. But the goal of this mod is to really sandbox this as much as is reasonable. So fire teams are now locked to a role. So you don't just toss it to random players by like right-clicking assign. It's now locked to a role. Will artillery kill you when you're on your own fob? I'm not sure what you mean by that. How do you join the server? It's literally just Karma communicate or Karma community. Where is it? I'll tab. Karma community occupation only. User mic hosted by AWN.gg. What does the FTL loadout get? I actually don't know. It depends on whatever faction. Let's see. You get a GL with smokes, right? So you get a little bit more tools to lead your squads. Like you can mark stuff with smoke. And I think you can also mark stuff on the map. I can't remember.
Northeast of our hab.
But yeah, I am totally open to increasing the size of these circles slightly. It's a little too condensed, I think. I think we could probably go maybe 600 meters more. Dying is a method of transportation via fobs. This is yeah, so like conventional factions only get 1 fob. And you're fighting within a circle. You know, you're not fighting from this side of the map to like this side of the map with AES flags in between, so you can just suicide here and respawn on this side of the map. That's not a thing in this game mode, because that's not how this game mode plays. You're not like moving linearly in a progression towards the enemy main. You're fighting in any direction within this circle, right? Like US could end up putting a fob up here and the other team could end up putting a fob down here, or vice versa, or any mixture in between, or they could be like rather close in the center of the map, etc. We do really need to open up these circles, I think, on some of these maps, because the options are a little too thin right now, and that's something we are constantly evaluating, is the size of these circles. But yeah, there's no like we're going from this direction to this side of the map. We have to fight linearly this way. You can fight in any direction in the circle, and it can end up any mix of ways. Any new game modes or new objectives to achieve? Yeah, I would rewind the stream. I'm sorry. I can't. I will answer like small questions or questions that haven't been answered too much. But yeah, this whole thing is a whole new game mode. It's a whole new game mode with different objectives within the game mode. Fobs are objectives now. Fobs are considered the objective.
Okay, yeah.
There's a lot we have to work on and a lot we want to achieve.
This is
And
when we're
sit
trying
in the
to
Discord.
recover our logi. It's
To check it out.
I'm probably the one itself. From the helo.
There's also the forums that we just got up. Yeah, I'm really excited for this. It'll also be cool when we get custom factions in. But yeah, once again, this is the first iteration, guys. Let me check our Discord to see if anything's been dropped in there. Put 2 circles? No, we don't want to separate. That's another thing, and like this goes back to like why I think AAS is just... It's a weird game mode, dude.
Alright,
I like Invasion more than AAS because the fighting is centralized, or at least focused.
On top of the hill.
But AAS is too delicate with 2 different objectives too far apart that if you lose one or take one, it shifts the whole balance of the map. And like, it's easy to steamroll, right? It's really easy to steamroll in AAS if you can cascade off of objectives. I don't necessarily like that. So splitting the team is just, I guess, a little too confusing.
They've got MGs.
We want to make sure that this game mode remains dynamic, but also... I know it's pretty complex, but pretty simple. As simple as possible while remaining as dynamic as possible. That's constantly going to be a balance that we go through and tweak and decide and change and all that stuff. A conventional faction is any, like, first world faction. Right? So, like, Russia, US, MEA. Conventional forces are, like, you know, well-funded. Your conventional army or military. Irregular factions are your guerrilla factions, right? Insurgent or militia are the only 2 at this point in time. A better territory control? I wouldn't even say this is really territory control. It's more like King of the Hill. King of the Hill is the closest comparison. And I think if you're going to compare it to anything, the most accurate comparison is King of the Hill.
That's where their hab is.
Yeah, I think I want to kick these circles out to be a little bit larger for sure.
Commander, do we have any airstrikes or something to take out the enemy reps that's shooting at us?
We've got artillery. I've got a rocket strike coming on a vehicle plus repair station right now. I got an artillery strike on standby.
Stats, every game has been rather close. We do need to check some math on some stuff, but every game has been close within 50 tickets, so no team is like stopping the other at this point in time. I guess you can kind of call it like, oh, there's our rocket strike. You can kind of call it territory control with player-made zone points, or zones. Ammo loadout is traditionally 7 mags. I don't know why it's 6 in Vanilla Squad. I have no idea. Is it open to join? Yes, server is open.
Hey, Commander, just a heads up. They have their hab is on radio, confirmed.
We already have VBIDs for insurgents, ballistic. That is a thing.
What 2 is defend now?
100% they're up there.
So there are incentives to attack either. So if I'm in a regular faction, I want to set up as many fobs as possible and sprawl out, which thematically makes sense, right? You want to spread out like cancer, get your roots down, build as many fobs, because irregular militia and insurgents can put down up to 5 fobs. Conventional can only put 2. Okay? Conventional fobs gain tickets depending on where they are on the circle, and irregular forces drain fobs drain tickets from blue 4. So let's say we do the math, right? Where I'm a conventional faction. I put my fob in the center. I'm gaining 15 tickets every 10 minutes, okay? I'm in a regular faction. My fobs drain 5 minutes every 10 minutes. That means if I have 3 fobs down or even, okay? If I put 2 more fobs down, I'm gonna start draining an additional 10 tickets per 10 minutes. If I can establish and hold 5 fobs down at any point in time. Irregular forces do not lose anything for losing their fobs, so they can drop them and they do not have to defend them. Conventional forces lose a immense amount of tickets when their fobs are destroyed, so they're incentivized to defend theirs, as it's their 1 and only, or like 2 and only fobs, right? So thematically, right, just think, right, if we're thinking thematically about how this plays, conventional forces play like conventional forces. They establish a fob, and they send out patrols to eliminate insurgent or irregular force, quote-unquote, caches, like insurgency game mode, okay?
I damaged a vehicle
the
plus
difference
repair
between
station, plus the
occupation and
repair of it.
insurgency is that in
The rocket
occupation we
strike,
give
we got 7.5
the op
minutes for the
for
next rocket
the
strike. We have
the
a smoke
locations
barrage
to
ready if we
place
want it. Just call
their
in support for
fobs.
it.
We let you choose where you want to put the caches. The other difference is that, as you might note, there are multiple different win conditions, and we plan on trying to add as many as is feasible and realistic. We have to take into account complexity because people don't like, there's no way for me to tell you how to play this game mode. Like, it says right here, but fucking, like, I know no one reads this shit. All right, we have, like, it's here. It explains a lot of the mechanics here, but I know half of you guys, more than half of you guys, 80% to 90% of you are just gonna fucking click back this shit and never read this. So that's the first problem, is knowledge transfer or explaining how certain objectives or mechanics in this game mode work. Because there is nothing that will teach you it aside from you going out and reading it or listening from another player, okay? That's the first problem. Is that we can't get too complex, because if there's no materials or no easy way to learn the mechanics, it's just gonna be fucking chaos. That's the problem. But we would like to have multiple win conditions, and there have been some thoughts into how we do that. So currently, there are a couple of win conditions that exist within occupation. Number one is you simply... Oh, well, rip. You simply out... This guy just crashed into oblivion. You simply outkill the enemy, right? Normal ticket slaughter. You just simply outkill the enemy and you drain their tickets through kills. Second win condition is you manage to actually capture their fob and destroy it. Okay? That's second win condition. Oh, that was a good A10. The third win condition is only really present in insurgency or in irregular force matchups, which is if the irregular forces build and maintain their 5 fobs and hold them, that is a win condition for them. I mean, yes, it is all kind of tied around tickets, but there's different strategies you can drain or gain tickets, right? That's the whole thought process, is that there's not just one way you can do it. There's multiple ways you can do it. So yeah, one thing we were thinking about, and this is only possible, like, this was an idea that we were thinking about, is like, what if we just remove tickets? If we just completely yeeted tickets, and what if we made it so that, hold on, oh god, what if we made it so that this main base had a limited amount of build and a limited amount of ammo? And everything that you did on the map, whether it's spawn in new vehicles, or respawn your character, or rearm, or build, drained from this finite pool of resources. And what if when you cross a certain line, or hit 0 or whatever, you would lose, right? And that gives us a lot of possibilities, right? But that's a lot of coding and a lot of work. It is completely removing tickets and making everything focused off of build or ammo in a finite amount from the main base, because then you have a true limited amount of resources to work with everywhere on the map. Like, it's finite. The artillery, you call it, it's kind of like Hell Let Loose, I guess you could say, ish, to an extent. I think a lot of the changes we make in this mod are influenced by Hell Let Loose. I think Hell Let Loose does a couple things right. Hell Let Loose has a couple things wrong with it, which is it's way too much in the arcadey side of things and stuff like that.
I know you can't place them indoors.
But there are a lot of things I think Hell Let Loose gets right as far as
that was a problem I had
the
earlier.
team play, the greater teammate.
Well, we're definitely not indoors.
That was one thought. He's completely getting Clyde, thank you so much for coming to channel, Major Dude. Really do appreciate it. That is the one thing that would be kind of cool, and it's an idea. I'm not saying we're adding that in, but that was like a shotgun idea that we had, was making finite resources. That way, also, right, what would also happen is if I go, we could also put in places on the map that would generate resources or also have finite amount of resources on it. So let's say like this objective here, or this location here, you could come here and pick up a finite amount of ammo and build, and then this becomes a strategic objective that you could control or defend against, or control or attack to take, to then feed more resources into your fobs or your team, right? That is a very complex system, but it would be kind of cool to have. I'd have to think about that more.
We should
There's a ticket gain. Yeah, it's on the top right. So ticket flow right now, US leads by 8 players. They're gaining 5 tickets per minute. I'll be real, okay? None of the guys who are working on the mod right now are UI or UX guys, okay? So like a lot of the UI UX design is fucking rudimentary, okay? Because none of us fucking work with that shit. So this at the top right, the leads by ticket flow thing, that could be
Southwest tab is under attack.
drastically improved because it is duty caca right now. But we'll get there, okay? We'll get there. I'll probably try to hop in the next round. So one thing I am noting right now is we're probably gonna want to open up the circles, and increase tickets because the games are going by pretty fast. It hasn't even been 30 minutes, and this game is like more than halfway over. Yeah, but that's the balance, right? Is we want to maintain a good balance between complexity and accessibility, because there's no good way to teach right now. But that's like one thing I always think about this, right? I always think about this. A lot of first-person shooters, like they have depth to a certain extent, but none of them are very complex. And I'll be real, this comes from my experience playing a ton of like fucking nerdy ass 4X games where like there's multiple win conditions and like you have to build up your civilization and like it's complex, right? Complex games like Stellaris or Hoi or whatever game you play that's like really complex. There's a lot of shit going on. There must be a space within the first-person shooter environment for games that are first-person shooters, but also that complex. Maybe not a big market, right? Maybe it's not, and it very well could not be huge. But there's gotta be a possible way to make a first-person shooter that is complex and dynamic rather than... And this comes from one of my major gripes in literally every first-person shooter right now, aside from Escape from Tarkov, which is get in the circle, capture the circle, move to the next circle. I'm so tired and done with that gameplay loop, okay? Like, Hell Let Loose, Insurgency Sandstorm, Squad, Post-Crypto, whatever fucking game you can think of. All the game modes, and Insurgency is dead, which makes me sad. All the game modes are literally move to the circle, sit in the circle, move to the next circle. I'm so tired of it. There has to be a space and an area for dynamic game modes with multiple win conditions and complexity.
No fly here, oh my god. Okay, Lord.
Because I'm so tired in every game that I play, it's just a fucking meat grinder in a 200-meter square box or smaller.
Not flying directly over. Yeah. I want to put another artillery strike on that position.
Yeah, I was spawned in 40 seconds.
Yeah, we got the artillery strike ready to go in a minute and a half. So count to 60 and then take off.
I'll go to the southern half. Are we able to get any build supply, resupply?
I'll come. I gotta grab some supplies.
Got it, thanks.
How much you
Yeah, I'm
want?
thinking we bump the tickets up like 200.
400 ammo and 20 on build, so I'll leave that up to you.
Like, we're bump them up to 500 tickets per team, see how that plays. Let me mark that down. How big is this mod? It should be less than a gig, I think. Because we didn't add any assets. A lot of it is just code. Like value changes and some code. There's no like custom assets, like factions or anything. So target time round. I want this to be a little bit more slow and spread out and methodical than it is currently. So that's why one of the changes is we're gonna open up the circle a little bit more, and we're gonna like, not the tickets right now are at 300 per team. We'll probably bump it up to 5 and open up the circle more. So we slow it down and spread it out a little bit more. Because yeah, this is going by too fast. It's not even 30 minutes. Yeah, any other questions? Anything you'd like to see?
Helicopter, can you go ahead and just lift us us and get us supplies, and then fly all the way around to the north.
And a reminder, this is our first iteration of release.
5, how are you guys doing up there?
Well, my guys are holding on to it.
Alright, 6 is gonna try to flank east and then up north to the location if we can.
Gotcha.
Southern Bob's taking
I think
heavy
we're
fire
still-
from Hotel 7. Keep at 8.
Yeah, no, this get here. Let me see if I can pull up. Probably not. There's a video I recorded on Occupation a long time ago, and like this mod has given me some of my best squad moments because like really thematic, really immersive moments that are organic to the game. Like it's not an event, it's not an operation. Like, for example, there was back when we released this last year and we were doing those initial playtests. There's a Fallujah lair where there's insurgents that spawn ahead of time in the circle, right? Because they're native to Fallujah, so they get to start in the circle. And then you have Blue 4 U.S. forces trying to push into the city. So the cool thing about that is that that lair has an early, mid, and late game. The early game plays like invasion because the U.S. are trying to get into the circle. They have to fight their way into the circle. It plays like invasion because you're invading into the circle. But once you get into the circle, you then have to build up your fob. That's like the mid game, okay? It's like building and defending and holding your fob. And then the late game is like supplying that fob and hunting insurgent caches. That I think is like really, really fucking cool. The fact that within that one game mode, we have an early game stage, a mid game stage, and a late game stage, which is not present in Vanilla Squad. Like early to late game in Vanilla Squad does not matter because it will play the same no matter what time you are in that mode. But with Occupation, there are different stages to the game mode. You have early game, mid game, late game, which makes it feel a lot more dynamic as well. And there's a couple of things that we can do to also change that as well. But the cool thing about Fallujah Invasion is like, or Fallujah Occupation is like, you set up the fob in the city, and it's very thematic because you're fighting into it. You're setting it up. You're setting up the fob under fire. You're trying to establish a perimeter. You're trying to get this fob out and running, and you aren't strong enough to push out of the fob yet. And during this time, you're running logistical convoys, not just one Logi in and out the city trying to get stuff done, but like actual like 4 Humvee 2 Logi convoys through the city to protect these, to actually protect these supplies to get to the fob. Because insurgents are setting up decently sized roadblocks on Fallujah because they're in the circle, right? This all comes back to the big circle. Is the bigger the circle and the relevant zone, the more freedom you have as a player. Whereas if we look at AES or Invasion, if you're not in the objective, you feel irrelevant because your body's not counting towards the cap. And just because your body's not in that cap can swing, and then now you have a cascading or an effect in the game mode that essentially drastically changes the position of play. But because we have a large circle, if I can camp this bridge and I'm relevant to the cap zone, I can camp in this bridge. I can camp this bridge watching for enemy supplies coming in by ground launching. I can set up these ambushes, and I'm actively helping my team hold the cap zone. You know? Whether if this was AES and this is a flag and this is a flag and I have a whole squad camping here, this is a whole 9 guys not counting towards the cap, and this cap will swing, which then pushes the map in either direction, and it's like the whole team is yelling at this squad off the point. Like, what the fuck are you camping this objective for? Like, why are you here? Why are you here? Like, just get in on the objective. You know what I mean?
They're hitting you guys up there. They're hitting
I'll
our
be
guys
real.
off the point.
I hate sniper and marksman kits. I'm really not a fan. Part of me wants to straight up remove them. They are still in with typical squad. What happened here? Did they lose a fob? Oh, they're getting pushed off the fob. With typical squad counts. But yeah, I really don't like marksman. That was another thing I disliked, was the inequality of optics across kits. So that's one thing we did do with factions, okay? That's one thing we did do with factions, is like everyone on the team, aside from irregular forces because they play differently, but all conventional forces, every role has the option between the magnified or a 1x. Instead of like, oh, I picked this lat kit, so now I only have a red dot. I hated that. I
one of them
absolutely
hit
hated
right
that.
on the head.
In all my years of squad, I hated how certain roles just didn't get optics. We wanted optic
There's a new
magnification
mark good now.
parity between conventional factions because
I
we want
tested it.
everyone to feel like they can participate. Because I
Okay.
played rounds of squad where it's like, we're on Kohat, I picked the lat kit that doesn't get an optic, we're getting shot at 300, 200 meters, and I'm irrelevant to this fight. Because suppression doesn't work, and I can't hit targets. I'm just gonna get head tapped with an ACOG peeking over, okay? So we fixed both those things. Everyone has optics, okay? So it's that you can participate in any fight anywhere. The second thing is that suppression system we talked about earlier. Even if I do not know exactly where you are sitting, if I put rounds relatively close to you, you will feel it now, because the suppression system is much more punishing than vanilla. Because let's be honest, in vanilla, no one fucking suppresses. It's useless.
Oh yeah, it's been lost for a while.
Yeah.
Can I explain the reasoning behind why I don't like the marksman kit? Number one, it introduces a really difficult balance problem, which is setting the engagement ranges. Right? If I have a marksman rifle that has a greater optic than you, I can effectively 1v9. Okay? Because you can't reach me, and I can reach you, despite me being one person. And that one person that has the sniper kit can lock down a lot of people. It is a force multiplier. And until that marksman gets located, like it's just balancing. It's just kind of weird, right? Because if I have greater range than you, then I can lock you down. That's how it works, right? In every game. That's why if you play a faction with optics versus a faction without, it's because I can reach you, you can't reach me. It presents a really weird balance problem. The second thing is, as many people mentioned already, it promotes lone wolfing. And I'm guilty of it in vanilla squad because it's effective. If I take the marksman role and I know where to go, I can just lone wolf in a bush and just rack up kills. Because it
Where we at?
despite people not liking that, it works
I'm kind of confused how that works.
with people that know how to play the game.
We lost more tickets than they did.
Kind of screwed us. We probably lost a lot of guys with that center hab.
Oh, well we held.
They bled us some tickets by going to their objective.
Maybe if they'd given us actual like armored.
And at the end of the day, the question is, do marksmen add anything good for the majority of the player base? And the answer to that question, unfortunately, is no. Marksmen only make the people who are playing them feel good. It is not good to play against. It is not fun to play with. It is only fun to play as. That's why I don't like marksmen. Unfortunately, that is the case. Marksman is only fun for the people playing them. It is not fun to be against the marksman, and it is not fun to watch your teammate go fuck off 600 meters to go sit in a bush and camp kills. This is not fun. And the core of this game mode and this mod is going to be infantry centric. Like, those are the players I am concerned about. Those are the people I want to have a good time, are the people who are on the ground, just the normal riflemen. Everything else is a second priority. The armor players, the air players, the marksmen, whatever specialty weird things that you're doing. The core of the gameplay and my focus all of the time will always be the infantry squads on the ground and what their gameplay experience is like. So if something could get added that would be really cool and really specialized and like, oh, let's add. That's why, like, I'm gonna be real. At this point in time, there are 0 tanks on any of our layers. Because tanks are terrible for infantry gameplay. It's just wild. It's just I don't like tanks mixed in with my game modes or my maps. I do, however, love armor only layers where it's like 8 tanks versus 8 tanks. That is fucking dope. But mixing armor in with infantry gameplay is just it causes a weird balance. And in my opinion, subjective opinion, I do not believe that it adds anything to the infantry experience. A marksman isn't supposed to be that far away. Their role is to support their squad moving. Okay, but like, let's be 100% realistic. Does that happen in squad? You might do it, but I can tell you 99.9% of people who take marksman will fuck off and get kills. That's just a fact. That is the fact. It's unfortunate. Like, there are so many things that we could add if they were played properly but they aren't, so we don't. Can I restart the server? No one can get in. It's probably because the server is full. Tanks on Fallujah. Yeah, so tanks on urban maps are balanced because, as we can see right now in Ukraine, fucking armor in urban areas does not do, like... You can just get latted out of any fucking window. So that's why some maps that have, like, BMPs or Bradleys, those are, like, the urban maps. Narva or etc. Yeah, see, a lot of people want Apaches and attack helicopters. I don't think we're ever going to add that shit in our mod. Like, Steel Division. Like, Steel Division adds, like... These things are fucking overpowered, okay? Like, it's not good for gameplay balance. Like, I can understand if you want, like, arcadey Battlefield gameplay. That's not what we're aiming for, you know? We're not aiming for arcadey, Battlefield balance. We want, like I said before, infantry-centric gameplay. That is the core focus of everything, infantry-centric. So, it's not fun when you are getting strafed by a helicopter and you don't have manpads, because manpads don't exist in this game. I'm not gonna lie, I have fun shredding players in attack helos back in the old heli mod. Like, that was a ton of fun. But I can tell you, those dudes on the ground, we're not having the best time. Am I adding tactical nukes? That's a good meme. How many maps would be on rotation on the server? Let me count right now how many we have. Stand by. Right now, on our current rotation, we have...
Hey, helicopter, drop those guys off, then come back and get us.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 1 second. I'm looking for the fucking map rotation. So our current map rotation, some of these layers are broken, okay? And it's easily fixed. We just need to update the server. But the current rotation is Kokan, which is CAF, TAP Vs versus MEA BRDMs. Then it goes to Goose Bay, which is CAF again, LAV 6s versus Russian BTR 82s, which is going to be weird. We might up those to BMPs. We have to test that. After that, it goes Fallujah, Mat Vs versus Insurgents. Then it goes Gorodok, MTLB Russians versus MTLB Mil. And then it goes to Kohat, which is 2 US helos versus 2 MEA helos. Then Belaya, which is where we are now in the rotation, which is Warriors versus BMPs. And then we have Yeho, which is Fox Sounds and a heli versus Russian Tigers and a heli. And then Lashkar, which is... Lashkar V1 is going to be fucking dope. Lashkar V1 and Fallujah are, I think, some of the best layers in this mod. Lashkar V1 is an air assault map, which means US gets 4 helis against insurgents on Lashkar. That map is fucking sick. I fucking love that map. Kohat V2 is Russian BTRs versus MEA MTLBs. Fallujah version 2 is Bulldogs versus MEA MTLBs. Narva is Bradleys versus BMPs. Belaya V2 is Strikers versus BTRs. And then Mutaha is MEA Samirs versus Insurgents. So there's a decent amount of maps on rotation right now. We're missing Manic, Scorpo, Anvil, Talil, which have all been made. Like, those layers have been made. I just have to figure some things out. But those could get put in as early as next week. I wish airstrikes in squad were more prevalent. So here's the thing. I didn't talk about this yet. We've changed how commander assets work, okay? So now, as a commander in occupation or in dynamic direction, your airstrikes are every 10 minutes. It's kind of low. We're going to change that. It's probably a little too low. But SU-25 and A-10 strikes on 10-minute cooldowns, okay? Probably a little too low. We'll probably up that to maybe 15. 15 sounds a little bit more reasonable.
We got stuck.
The second thing is... artillery strikes are also on a 10-minute cooldown. But the difference from our this is one thing that's bugged me a lot in squad, is the artillery barrages in squad are overkill, and you only really see maybe 2 or 3 tops a map. What we did with artillery strikes was we decreased the cooldown to about 10, which is still low. We're still playing with these numbers, right? First playtest. But the barrage is only 8. It's only 8 rounds. That's it. Instead of like the 30 or whatever it is now. It doesn't wipe everything off. So the thought process behind this... Oh, also UAV is up all the time. So the commander actually commands, okay? We give you the tools as the commander to actually play that commander role. Because in vanilla squad, this is my problem with vanilla squad, is that the commander's just picked and he's a squad leader that can call stuff in every 30 minutes. That's all people use commander for. It's not like Hell Let Loose's commander, where they actually are controlling the game, which in my opinion, should be how the commander plays, which, once again, subjective, but that's why we modded it like this. The commander should be in his drone, commanding and managing the team logistically, as well as calling in supports as SLs needed. The supports are there at that frequency to facilitate the pushes on the map, right? So that there's a constant flow, and it's used to break stalemates. Can you shoot the LAV down? Yes, we didn't change that.
Oddball, you want a radio or no?
We just killed a logistics vehicle full of enemy infantry.
Alright.
I think VBID should be able to destroy a fob or damage it. Not really, because then you could just drive it in and blow up the fob, which is cheesy, right? That's cheesy. Like, think thematically, not gameplay wise. Thematically, when does a conventional fob get destroyed, or like when does it fall? It falls when the area is truly controlled, not because some random dude with an ID walked into the fob and like blew up a portion of it, right? Thematically and in real life, you only lose fobs or combat outposts when the area has truly been overrun, not because there's a cheesy explosion within the wire, right? So that's what we're trying to really focus on, is like, these are fobs. They're durable. They're strong. They should be built up and defended like actual fobs. We have VBIDs in the game. We have 3 types of VBIDs modded in the mod. We have that's thanks to Rosa, I think. I think Rosa coded that one. We have a small, fast, technical VBID. We have a armored technical VBID, and we have a large Ural VBID, all with respective different sizes in explosion radiuses and
give me a second, I'll
damage. Will this mod be available to other servers? Yeah, I mean, technically anyone can run it. Where's this BMP that's like shitting on something?
I don't know. This too, we're gonna come up from the southeast and hit that fob.
They ammo rack these guys. So here's a cool thing, right? Like, this is a thing that I always see from squad players as like always cringe, is like they never run their armor with infantry around. Like you see armor always run without an infantry bubble, and it's just like, that's not, you get popped like that so easy.
Drive up to you.
I feel like the circle should be smaller on this map. No, so this is smaller than our other circles. This circle is technically 600 meters in radius compared to 75 or 750.
Are we doing okay at the moment on the one radio that we do have?
If there's enemies close to it.
Oh, that's a good hit. Look at this dude.
Look on the map, they have a hab right next to it.
Yeah,
I'm pushing that hab right now. Yep.
ever thought about heavy helo, like a Chinook? Yeah, like those would be cool, but I don't know. We'd have to get someone to code and model and all that stuff. Like I said, having these other features would be great, but they're not a focus right now.
Yeah, there's any squad 2 is defend.
Squad 1, if you want to come to the east side. Oh, the helicopter, yeah, east side of the objective.
See where I'm shooting?
Yeah, I can see you where you're on.
Close.
It would be cool to be able to like take 2 squads in a Chinook and stuff like that. Heavy lift stuff would be cool, but like it's just our focus right now is gameplay.
We place it.
Right over to us now on this single pad.
Alright, 6 is in contact with this fob. Okay, radio dropped on 4.
That's another thing we did is there's not that much micro terrain on some of these maps, so everyone has 2 sandbags they can put down and build.
Full build, please.
Might decrease it to 1, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a quick run next to the level to see where the infantry is.
I'm gonna pick up. I'm right here.
Getting overrun here. With this hab.
Roger.
Are there things you like about Vanilla Squad? Yeah, I like a lot about Vanilla Squad. It's just a couple things I do not like, you know? So with modding, I have the power to tweak Squad exactly how I want to play it, you know?
Yeah, understood. I want everybody to put effort into securing that western hub, okay? My squad's gonna stay on this eastern one.
Mod shouldn't affect FPS at all because it's like we're not doing anything weird.
I just flew over one. I'm gonna place a mine. Rotate. Smart.
Alright, Rob, are you here?
Yes.
Okay, so the problem with irregular fobs is that they're if I'm blue 4, if the irregular players, or if red 4 puts down a fob,
yeah,
the fob is visible on the map to blue 4, so it thinks it's a blue 4 hab.
So no, what actually happened is I forgot to set the team on the spawn point. So it's a neutral spawn point, hence why none of you could spawn.
Whenever, alright, here's the second problem. When they put 2 down in the zone, the second they put a 3rd, as soon as they put it down, it blows up.
Squad 8, there's an IFV
So,
on our attack mark.
Was this has this been observed in all layers?
Only Fallujah at this point in time. Insurgents.
So what I'm thinking is, because the radius of cap zone is like 1,300 meters.
Might be able to get in, but there's enemies on the east.
But it shouldn't blow it up.
No, that's what it does. If the ghost isn't placeable, it blows up. It destroys the actor, and I have the effects set so that it blows up on destruction, including when it's a ghost. I just fixed that in here, so.
Okay, well, it's not in an exclusion radius. Like it's in a valid placement when it goes down.
But remember, the zone of control exclusion radius is 700 meters.
What do you mean zone of control exclusion radius?
Do you remember talking about zone of control on blue 4 habs?
On the next objective.
Oh, I mean,
So IRF,
that's something I never remember getting put down.
You told me that's what we should do when we had that meeting.
But we disabled that, right? Because it's not functioning, right? So it shouldn't be running right now, right?
No, it is functioning if there's only fobs. Once CPs get entered is when I don't know whether or not it will work. But we don't have CPs in right now.
Carmen, he was saying that's why we could replace the radio on Fallujah, that third radio, or whichever
Possible.
It was.
It might be.
Because it was pretty close. I was in admin camp prior to that.
It was too close to the opposite team.
It must have been. It must have been because their fob wasn't that far away.
I mean, I didn't see. It looked like it was outside of the radius for me. I don't know, maybe not.
Well, remember it was the enemy fob, right? So
Yeah.
I think we were close enough to have been in that situation. Maybe not, but Rubba convinced me that that's probably what happened.
Okay.
Just based on my recollection. I didn't take a screenshot of the map. I probably should have.
Gotcha. Also, there's some weird stuff with the blue line circles. Some scale, some don't.
Blue line circles.
Okay, so Russia's, or who is this? What team am I on? Yeah, Russia's build circles are scaling. Currently, Great Britain's is not.
What?
It's locked. Here, let me stream in Discord to you.
No. I understand what you're saying. I just don't understand how that's possible.
How that's working? Yeah, I don't know either.
Great stuff over there. Okay, just stay defensive.
What else was I gonna say?
And try and deal with the enemy downhill, yeah.
Does that clarify the fob issue?
Yeah, no, the fob issue is
5 minutes.
Zone of control.
Okay. It's an exclusion radius that isn't visible on the map?
Correct.
Okay.
Because it would directly identify where the enemy fob is.
True. So should we just let them build within that?
Let them build within the zone of control, you mean?
Yeah, because it's not... We can't display
I feel like you have to.
Yeah, we have to.
So the way I've done it is kind of like rallies, right? I have it set up so that it warns you and says, "Hey, you're too close to an enemy fob."
It did not trigger that.
Correct, because that was bugged. I didn't have it selected correctly.
Roger. Okay.
Circles where they are.
There's still a way to figure out where the enemy. I don't know. I feel like you ought to be able to build it, especially if you're the inserted team and you're allowed to build 5. I can understand if you're support faction and you decide.
I remember this discussion we had now. I remember this discussion we had now. The intent is that, like, if I have this fob set up here, I control this area. That's the intent.
Correct.
Yeah, I think you got to think hard about how you communicate that to the SL. Like, that's the big thing, right? Because somebody's just gonna assume it's broken.
Do we just put that zone up then? That circle, like that visible to both teams.
I think that's. So first of all, it's not a circle, right? Second of all, it's probably a bit too much information. It's just data right now. It's literally just I have entered a distance.
Right, but that's technically a circle, right?
I mean, if
I would have to make a widget for it, but yeah.
Well, because it's probably not only is it a circle, but can INS build fobs outside the radius? Like, for example, that pollution map. Could we have built a radio outside of the
pink?
The
yes,
zone?
but it will not count towards ticket reduction.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, my feeling is if it is intended that is like a zone of control, and I mean, otherwise you're gonna have people that just drive around and try to place radios until they find it. They can't, and then they know that the fob's nearby.
Yeah, so we either need to make it visible or let them build within it.
Here's the thing, though, Fru, is that you're talking about an area 350, 400 meters in radius, right? We're talking about a lot of area for something that's a meter square.
I guess I don't know. It doesn't feel very good to try to place a radio and then not be able to, and then you're like, oh, well, I'm too close to the enemy fob. I can't.
That's fair, but I would also contend that we do the same. We have done the same thing with rallies since the dawn of time.
I guess if it says like you are too close to an enemy fob, like if that message displays, then that's fine.
So right now, if I remember correctly, you were saying Rub, it was bugged because right now it showed you were too close to a forward operating base.
Correct. It just shows you're too close to FOB, so it's going to say you are too close to enemy. I can actually read it. Hold on.
You soon?
Understood.
Oh, he's looking south.
What if Karma? What if it was a time
I
thing
understand. I'm trying to get
where
my
like
outlaw guy to kill it
you
right
control
now.
the radius right away, but over I'm not sure what the time frame would be, but maybe after a certain amount of time, then it became visible on the map. The exclusion radius, that is.
I mean, we kind of have that set up with the red circles. The red circles that show like roughly where the enemy fob is.
Okay,
I don't know what this guy's doing. So if you look on my screen right now, or on, are you watching the stream?
I am not.
Are you in the server?
Nope.
All right, hold on. Let me stream.
You're in Discord? Yeah, I'll take a look.
All right, I'm in streaming in Discord. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
All right, you see these red circles?
Sure. Yep.
These show up circling roughly where the enemy fob is on the map after X amount of minutes.
Got it. And that's visible to the enemy team.
To both, yeah, to the enemy team, yeah.
Okay. Then that's fine. As long as there's some reference. I still think it's great if you're like quote unquote defending an area.
I'm tracking.
But at the same time, if the intent is that the Blue Force should be able to somewhat exclude some areas so they're not constantly after defending everything.
Yeah, it's not like they have enemy fobs spawning right like adjacent to them.
I can understand both lines of argument. I would probably go the other way, but I can certainly understand why you would choose to prevent people from building inside that radius.
Squad 6, if you look on Squad 2's defend mark, just north of you. there's
Alternatively,
6
we
guys
could decrease the radius as well.
Roger.
So right now you said is it a radius or diameter of 700?
It is a radius of 700 meters.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
I would
that's
say that I
excessive.
think you hit on the right issue then.
Okay, so then we decrease that size.
To what? Like, I don't know what the right range is. I mean, I would consider what the size of your playable area is, and then consider what the size of your
So let me see here. I would say a radius of like 100 meters, Rubba. 150 meters.
Okay, guys, I'm getting on the.
You want to cut it that much?
Yeah, cut it that much.
So they can't build it within build radius.
They can't build it within 150 meters of a fob.
Okay.
Makes sense.
I think that's probably a better because otherwise, like who's to lose it, right? If you're the intrinsic faction that's from that region, it feels like you ought to be able to build in more areas than
exactly.
By limiting the conventional factions to 2 radios, you've already sort of accomplished that anyway on that end. And so, yeah, I think that would be probably. I mean, it's worth testing at the very least.
No, I definitely think it should be. The intent behind the circle is just big enough to make sure that there's no INS cheesy fob happening, like literally outside your hab, you know.
Got it. Does Blue Fort get some sort of warning if they try to build a fob within rate? If they try to build a fob
that's a good question. What happens?
Zone of control. Zone of control only occurs if the fob is established ahead of time, right? Thematically, the explanation for this is they've been, doing patrols, watching INS actions, that kind of thing. If they haven't been,
right. So I guess my question is, so let's say it's not going to affect if Insurgent's fob is already there. It doesn't affect their ability to like build it back up if it got damaged or stuff like that.
So the only thing that's going to affect is future placement, right?
Got it. Okay.
Anything that already exists will be there, and it only affects radios. So
building, if I want to build it, just
right.
Just north of the eastern hub.
Carmen, what are your thoughts about the? I posted the no feedback channel. What are your thoughts about the tickets for the conventional and unconventional fights?
Yeah, I'm gonna update them to 500 tickets per team.
And just see how that feels in terms of the length of the round.
Yeah, so I want estimated time of round to be about 1 hour 30 minutes, and we're about 1 hour short, so doubling it at the very least.
Okay.
Or roughly doubling it.
And then I don't have any. I feel like I need to play more to give you data on this, but I did feel as if the on Gloridoc specifically, and maybe to a lesser extent Kohat, that the
zone's too small.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a little bit. Yes.
Yeah, I've also noted that down. I'm gonna bump up the size on maps where there are not enough points of interest within the circles. I'm gonna open up the circle. So like condensed maps like Fallujah or Narva, or like these maps are like you could pretty much the urban maps or maps with a lot of villages. You don't need to, but like on the maps where there's like large open areas, yeah, I'll open it up.
So
do we want to
Is that still randomized? Is that, I believe before it was randomized.
Mhm.
Is the intent to randomize that as well?
Yeah, it is
still the same?
randomized.
Okay. Meaning this, the location of the area.
Well,
Yeah,
I pick, and it picks which one of those circles. It's not completely like just drops it anywhere.
Got it, but you got like 6 presets or whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's a BMP on our position about ready to kill us.
Do we want to standardize those sphere sizes, Karma?
No. Okay. We're not going to. Yeah, these games are real short.
How many tickets do we have currently?
300 versus 300, and that causes games to run about 30 minutes.
Yeah, no, 300 v 300 is always going to be short.
I could go 600 or I could go 1,000.
We can also now now it's slower obviously, but the conventional factions when they're head to head, they are generating tickets, correct? When the fathers
both are generating.
Yeah, right on the
Got it, okay. And what's that rate? It's like 2 tickets or 5 tickets per every 5 minutes or something.
So if you look right here at Karma's stream, they're generating 1.3, 1 1/3 per minute. So
and is that 1.3?
That's what, like 6 tickets every 15 minutes?
I see 0.3.
Yeah, so so GD is generating 0.3 then, yeah. Which is, I believe,
Could be 1 ticket every
15
minutes.
minutes. Oh yeah, yeah, 5 tickets every 15 minutes.
Correct. And is that
maybe full.
Is it per minute per player differential, or is it just per minute if you have the advantage? It's absolute like binary yes or no.
FOBs automatically will give you a certain number of tickets every 15 minutes based on how close they are to the center.
Okay.
On the other hand, if you have an advantage of 6 or more players, the enemy team will start bleeding based on the number of players.
Okay. 6 player advantage or greater.
Correct.
Yeah, that's gonna need to be in those broadcasts as well. Good. Put your fob in the middle.
Yeah.
There is a widget that encourages that as well.
Okay.
Oh, what? Sorry. So wait, how did you
If
do
you're
that?
placing a fob, it says down at the bottom, this fob generates X tickets per minute.
Is that in right now?
That is in currently.
Quickly, because we've only got 60 tickets.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, no, that is in. I've seen it.
I'm gonna get artillery now.
I have to respawn in main.
It's because it doesn't do it. Maybe because I tried to place on militia and
I
insurgent.
can come back
those
and
2
get you
times.
over if you need.
Yeah, militia and insurgent are different.
Yeah, they're drawn.
widgets.
They
You wanna try to-
Got it.
Yeah.
And you're tracking that mill FOBs are generating.
I'm gonna split
So
this
I went through and looked at them. They look fine.
Artillery's gonna come down on the enemy.
So I'm not sure what's going on.
And then we're gonna attack it, okay?
Okay, squad 6, I'm gonna come to you now. Gosh.
Enemies in that green now.
Is there anything else we're missing? The HAB thing was weird, but I got that fixed.
So you saw them all. Yeah, I had a list in there.
I know there was, but I don't.
Right,
I
cap
didn't
radios.
understand
Cap
that.
radios. I don't understand. I set them to the right radios, but they're not. They're vanilla radios.
Let me take a look.
We're somehow managing to lead a little bit. I don't know why, but
Rubba, you and I talked about the
I'll
issue
take it.
where the fob deployables, like as a percentage of how many fobs you can have, that bottom denominator doesn't show up.
Yeah.
We talked about the Warhawk map being offset with the mod.
Yeah, that and EHO.
And Yeho is as well? Okay.
EHO is as well. We didn't update this.
Did you guys talk about the fob, the radius not scaling with like the blue circle?
Yeah.
Did, but okay. You have truncation did not work. Was that related to the tickets, Karma?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's working now, I guess. It's just not the cleanest, like, way to read
It's not
it.
setting precision the way I wanted it to. I don't know what it's doing.
Do you want to do it per 15 minutes? Would that help?
Awesome. Thanks, Krusty.
So bigger numbers, right?
The enemy western
Yes.
bomb is
The
in
other
the
thing,
open.
though, is if you do it per
I'm gonna
15
roughly
minutes,
mark
it becomes harder to digest. It's a lot more math for people to be doing while they're playing.
We did talk a little bit about, and this is less a bug and more feedback, but we did discuss that when friendly SLs are adjacent to your squad members, especially in situations where you're like trying to defend a tight area, the blueberry SL marker occludes the friendly squad members on the map.
Oh, okay. We can fix that. That's not difficult.
So whether it's making them more like translucent or whatever,
we can just change. We can just change the order on that.
Are you near that?
Yeah. So if that's the case, then the others include on top of them. I mean, the SL marker is larger, so.
Okay, Karma, rallies being treated as main bases. The rallies work, correct?
The rallies work, but upon spawn, it shows up in the menu as a main base, and when I spawn on it, it will give me full ammo, all that snaz.
Okay.
We're gonna try to put in a secondary hab down here to the south of 8.
And the habs were working correctly in that respect. They were not. They were working as if
Yes,
they had
habs were working as intended.
The rallies were not.
I don't know if this is like because of the mod, but I just got one big ass blue circle on my screen.
So that's an easy fix then.
Did you figure out why that the helipad issue was happening on?
Not yet. This is Goro.
Gordock, yeah. Yeah, then that's all that I can remember off the top of my head, at least.
No worries, dude.
I'm just looking through the list.
Thanks, Tom.
Oh, I wrote this down, but didn't add it to the channel. Somebody rubber reported, and I did not personally experience this, but somebody on our team in that seeding round reported that while their interface was showing that they had, I think it was 3 bandages, is that right?
Correct.
Wait, while the interface was reporting that they had 3 bandages, they didn't actually have any bandages.
Repeat that last part again, please.
So the interface was showing that they had 3 bandages, like the number 3. But when they went to pull out the bandage and actually use it, there was nothing in their inventory. I did not experience that one, so I haven't
heard any other reports of that either.
It was a rifleman or something like that. Whoever gets 3 bandages.
That sounds like a crazy one-off.
Hope so.
It's not anything we've touched, so if it was broken, I'm not sure why it wouldn't be.
Got it. I mean, it would. I mean, but that's not. I mean, it's a It's a rifleman class with 3 bandages, right? That is different from vanilla? But you're saying you haven't adjusted anything beyond.
That's the count though. You just feed it an integer and it goes back into the squad system.
So it's just an integer, essentially.
Right. Yeah, I told him if it was a big deal, they would make a bug report, and I never heard anything. I don't remember what the user's name was. Oh, ammo bags. Don't display how much ammo is in them. Yeah, that one is weird because those ammo bags are entirely vanilla. I don't know why they're not.
Yeah, it's some. One thing that we didn't test was trying to place it like outside the fob radius or something, or like outside the zone. Maybe that's what was impacting it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, 3 tickets for us.
The radial should be getting the object itself, the ammo box object itself. It shouldn't be trying to grab it through any other thing, so the fob should be able to interfere, but...
So close.
Yeah, I guess I always sort of go back to, well, it works in vanilla, but obviously, maybe there's...
Yeah.
That's a Adobe response, but it's the only one I can give you.
School time, nice. Down you, motherfucker.
I think I'm gonna bump tickets
I
up
don't
to
mind that loss,
750,
actually. It's good
and then
fun.
increase
That-
the circles.
How long did this run?
Yeah.
Karma?
It's like 30 minutes.
It's like sandbox.
30?
I mean, I feel like an hour is a reasonable target. If you felt like 600 would get it done, then maybe that's where to go. Or
You could probably get there with 500.
500, yeah. You said, is it 300 now? Increases by 200.
I'm just gonna try the extreme and see where that takes us,
Gotcha.
and then bracket it in from there.
It's going to be incredibly long, I promise you that.
Now, one thing I wanted to ask about for the unconventional factions, it is intended that they have the same ticket count as the conventional factions.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the math works out, like the way we balanced that was with the reduction with the fobs.
Right, no, I understand. And the one team is gaining the tickets, and they also get significantly more tickets. You know, the asserters get significantly more if they destroy, or militia or whoever, get significantly more if they destroy the Blue 4 fob. Like 70, I think it's a 75 ticket reduction. They don't gain them, they destroy them.
It's down to 50 now, but yes.
Oh, okay. I think it said 75 on the map when it popped
Yeah,
up.
it did say 75.
Did it?
Uh-huh.
Did I not change it? Okay.
100% it said 75. Now, maybe it actually took 50 away, but it did say 75 in the reporting.
Well, that string should just grab the value, so that means I just didn't change it. Yeah, it's still 75.
Well, we can keep it at that. Because I'm going to be tweaking the overall ticket count.
Fair. I just don't want it. Remember, previously we had an issue of people overvaluing fobs because if they lost them, they basically lost the game.
Yeah, but that'll change because the base amount of overall tickets should increase, right? So, proportionately, it shouldn't be too bad, right? But if we decrease it and increase base tickets, then it will be less value.
Who's gonna build Warriors?
Depends.
I'm an idiot. Who's gonna build Habs?
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm okay with keeping it for now.
Yeah, we'll just test one value at a time. We'll go 500. I think we'll try 750, and then I'll probably most likely will end up going down to 500.
Engage scientific method. One variable at a time.
Fortifying up this area.
Let's go.
Sure you have your slide rule handy.
Yes.
I mean, for the most part, most of these games have been close. Like, nothing has been sweeping.
Yeah, and it's worth noting that one thing we were talking about in more of a design, not a bug situation, but we were talking about team kills. I didn't notice an excessive number of team kills when we were watching today, for what it's worth. But I do think if there was a limit, if the intent long term is to limit you by round or whatever with respect to TKs, then we'll have to figure out a way to figure a way to adjust for how many crashes and whatnot. Because I think squad vanilla is 7 by round.
No, I think that's the farthest we've made it.
Oh, and command RDS. That was the other thing that we talked about. But I didn't notice an excessive number of situations where somebody shot somebody because they referenced the map and they didn't see the blueberry and then they pulled the trigger. It was probably worse on Kokon, actually, the first map we played.
Yeah, no, Kokan was the worst. I think that has to do with the uniforms being similar.
So it's been suggested to me, Karma, that we create blue 4 markers just to kind of establish AOs.
What do you mean?
I don't know. So like if your squad lead is dead, right? Command and other SLs don't know where friendlies are, so place a blue helmet marker instead of a red one to mark that, hey, there's friendlies here.
That's not the worst idea.
That's not a bad idea.
Like it might clutter the map a little bit, though.
It might.
We can try it. I'm open to it.
One thing we were talking about earlier, Rubba, was the lack of, or the challenge with respect to revive gameplay, specifically for medics. Not because, so if I remember correctly, what Karma was saying that is that in 3D space, they will still see people who are down and still need to be healed, right? So if
Correct.
you're close enough. But what they won't see is like, oh, there was a mass Taz over here on the west side. You know, I should, you know, when I spawned in, I should run over there and assist those guys. And maybe if there was a way, also as a rifleman, you're less likely to revive a down teammate if you don't know they're there.
Squad 5
Right.
And so we talked about what if there was a situation where if somebody went down, you were within a fixed distance, you could see them on the map. Not beyond that distance, only if you're within
Oh, we're
that
not
area.
getting a fob down. We're just all
That
fires.
would require a bit of an
We're
overhaul
fire.
to how map markers work currently.
Sounds good.
Okay. Yeah, and again, not something I would expect in the short term. But if that continues to be, because right now you're not incentivizing like
This is
reviving
two
your
being
teammates,
dropped by
or you're
7.
making it a lot more challenging.
Gonna be dropped there
I had a
and
situation
put
with
down and
Guardian
try to harass
earlier
them as
on
much as
Kokon,
possible.
where it was like I knew he went down, and I killed the guy who downed him, but my ability to locate him and get over and revive him was inhibited by the fact that I couldn't ascertain where he was.
Yeah.
Even though I knew, like I was trying to actively revive him, I had the ammo bag out. I switched, got bandages, and then went to look for him, and then no chance. Alternatively, maybe if people,
Is there a way to have like the blue floor markers only show up outside of the circle, and once they go in, it just disappears?
I mean, there's no point to that.
The whole point is that you are supposed to be in the circle.
A bunch of retards. That's what they say about squad.
Yeah, Yeho also off center.
All right.
Yeah, those are the two maps that got updated in 2.14, 2.12.
So we're on Yeho Occupation V6, and the map is also misaligned.
Yeah,
on this one.
every Yeho and Goro layer is going to be this way.
Every what?
Every Yeho and Goro layer is going to be this way.
Is that a mod bug or is that a squad bug? Because I remember seeing this in squad. Before, too.
They got updated in
Yes.
2.12, and we just
Mod
haven't
bug.
changed the corners.
It's just got to be
gotcha.
updated.
But we fixed pretty much everything else, right?
I mean, looking through the list right now, let me take one last look. It looks like the only issues we have are layer issues.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch them go through the entire rotation, and then what we can do is take the server down, and then I'll do my layer changes, and then we can cook and push.
Okay.
So that's going to be like, how many more layers we got? 1, 2, oh god. Wait, no, wait, what? Why are we skipping Yeho to Kohat? I probably misspelled Lashkar, lol. Yeah, it's Lashkar Valley, lol. So we'll go Lashkar Valley. We got Lashkar, Kohat, Fallujah, Narva, Balaya, Mudha. 6 maps. 3 more hours of me observing. And then we'll kill the server. So, I mean, honestly, I could probably make these changes while watching. If you have schoolwork.
I mean, technically speaking, yes.
Okay, I'll make the changes then. I'll make the layer changes. If you could fix the maps for Yeho and Goro, because I don't know how to do that.
The corners.
Yeah.
I'll see. I think I sent Declan the data. I don't recall.
Okay, and then I can set the layer ticket count and redo the bubbles.
Okay.
Are we fighting over here?
I want to build though.
Where can you buy squad? You can buy squad from karmakut.com.
Do it.
Squad 2, there's an enemy vehicle in the town.
The Foxhound's kitted with 240s only.
They have a 50 remote, but otherwise it's 210s, 240s.
Look at this guy suppressing. Not in the right direction, but I can appreciate the gusto.
I mean, he's probably seeing friendlies and suppressing them instead.
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
I think what's really cool is seeing like open top vehicles used for suppression, because you never see that really.
Yeah, seeing open tops working with vehicles is a big positive.
I love how both Foxhounds are firing on each other.
Well, how do you say crossing when you're in a vehicle?
Yeah, I got the eyes on one hab down here. But yeah, I'll come and give supplies.
Guys, tell your drivers to use their eyes instead of their maps, okay? Find the road and help us out.
Yeah, we're trying to get on the flag, of course.
I think I just ate a freaking grenade.
This is squad 2, definitely countered any
Oh, he just got shotgunned.
Yeah, I know what the hab is, squad 2, and there's 3 enemy vehicles as well down there.
Copy that.
It's hard to market those.
Oh, at least we know that shotguns do damage.
Yeah.
Hab got marked on the map southeast of 7 wood mark.
We won't have a repeat of the Moy clip.
Yeah, it's inside the
Oh, where
big
he just
barn
unloads
over
the shotgun into
fuckers.
someone.
Starts screaming at Guardian.
Watch out for rockets.
Yo, Foxhound has a lot of firepower. Holy shit.
Yeah, doesn't need those 50s. Fuck, sounds good.
Hey boy, thanks for the resub, dude.
We gotta build it. We gotta might take down this hab. I don't think the hab's in the zone.
I don't know how I feel about double fobs. I don't know yet.
Double fobs, meaning?
Letting conventional put 2 down.
Oh.
Still don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, it has its benefits and its drawbacks in terms of game design.
Are they actually wall penning these guys?
Build again, because we might have to dig down this hab.
Yeah, what's that?
Oh my god, they are. He's shooting through the wall and hitting these guys. Oh my god! No way! Oh my god, he just wall sprayed these guys. Oh, he got all 3 of them through the wall. That was glorious. That was glorious.
Beautiful. It's funny how quickly the lead can fluctuate.
Oh my god. Dude, he dropped a rally on their bodies. That's fucking maximum disrespect. Point blank muzzle stuff and then drops a rally. That's the squad equivalent of a
We're
teabag.
just gonna end up following you. You already have a bunch of my guys with you.
Yeah, understood. So, if you want to attack the enemy hab from the northwest, we can attack it from the southwest.
Well, we'll stage up here.
And we can pincer it.
There's still 3 enemy med V's or whatever it is up there, so watch out for them.
Where's the other fight? This is one fight. They all fighting down here? Are there 2 fobs on the airstrip right now? Hold up. I think there are.
Oh, squad 5, do you want supplies for radio?
I would like there to be a mechanic to where only the commander puts down the fob.
I was thinking about that in tandem with introduction of CPs. I'm just not sure how to go about it yet. More so how I want to go about it.
Say that one more time, Rob.
So having it so that the fob is placed by the commander, and then SLs can place combat positions as extra spawn points.
So that so only the commander can place a radio.
The fob radio.
Yeah, I got you.
Or maybe requiring commander approval before dropping it.
That, I think,
yeah.
You could tie those 2 systems together.
Yeah, for you
Maybe that's easy to do, I don't know.
Your move mark is down south, but we're already here, so...
Obviously, you have the one side, where commander approval is the fire support system.
Right.
Commander call-ins, and then the other is the build system. But if you find something that takes out, if you wanted to restrict it that way, that would make more sense.
Yeah.
Because then you're really dependent on the, if you go with the initial proposal, you're extremely dependent on the commander to
right. Yeah.
To the point of the detriment of gameplay.
Yeah, I bet you I can dissect the.
It's 5 squads per team,
system.
about, right?
Generally speaking, 50v50.
9
by 9
players.
Yeah.
So then you got a vehicle squad or 2, but typically there's a few more in the
enemy UAV above you.
There's the lock squad of 3 players that's off.
I'm trying to think, like, if you do the 2 fobs, that's 1 squad at least on defense or either, ideally. So that's 2 squads out of the fight, 3 squads moving around on the map. I mean, that's fine. So I guess 2 FOBs isn't spreading it out too much.
In practice, it doesn't end up like that, though.
Yeah, I know. I mean, players gotta learn to defend their FOBs.
Well, that's the thing. They over-defend their FOBs. It's not that they run away from the FOBs.
I mean, right now, it seems to be over-attacking.
Well, so, yeah, well, it may vary from game to game. I will say on the smaller map layers, typically what happens is that, in my experience with the older mod, the first team to apply pressure is the team applying pressure for the whole game. Because the ability to, like, break out and attack on a different angle was challenging. Especially if you were unwilling to spawn a main, which, you know, a lot of new players might be less keen to, like, reset at main and come in a different angle. On the larger maps, I think it's probably just more fob placement dependent.
And that's why these rally changes are big. I mean, I know right now they're kind of borked in their main base spawns, but...
Yeah, Scott, I know.
Sorry, what was the change in the rally?
Rally changes are 30 seconds spawn, no wave.
Sorry, I'm not sure I follow.
So it's a 30-second spawn time, and there's no wave spawning. So it spawns like a fob, but it has a 30-second time.
Is that working? I know when we previously tried to touch rallies, it would mess a whole bunch of stuff.
It is. The way squad handles rallies is not what I expected.
Okay, so it's working now?
But it is. I mean, now that I've fixed it, yes.
When you say it's a 30-second timer, just to be clear, you mean that I click on it and I click spawn, and I have 30 seconds to wait regardless of how many team kills or other stuff that's happened?
It works just like a HAB, right? Base timer is 30 seconds if you've been dead for 30 seconds, you know, knocked for 30 seconds.
Got it.
Whatever it is.
So it'd be 60 seconds if I just gave up immediately. Having
Right.
not team killed somebody.
Right.
They're still northeast.
Although that is one nice thing about the wave system
Get
is
back into
that
the swamp,
then you
back into
spawn
the
in
swamp.
together.
That is something that we had a discussion about.
But at the same time, if you're spawning every 30 seconds, then you know, it's probably easier to catch up with
Right.
you just spawn. So there's the trade-off.
I could go either way on the rallies. The main thing is just like, what feels bad with wave is like, I've been dead for 30 seconds, maybe a minute. If I give up at the wrong time, I'm now waiting an additional, you know, 30 seconds, whatever it is.
Oh, with the 30-second wave spawn, right? We can fix that. It's also just 30 seconds.
30 second
versus
wave
a minute.
spawn? That would be interesting. Although that gets you big. That doesn't penalize you very much for dying.
True. But it also incentivizes use of the rally, which is
Northwestern
ideal.
Harbour will get in your helicopter, please.
Yeah, you need supplies? If you do, I have
Now,
select-
Blue 4 faction eventually, or maybe it would be more accurate to say conventional factions, eventually will have the ability to place additional, effectively, HABs that would allow you to spawn that are not at the radio position.
Correct.
So the combat position.
Correct.
Discussion.
There's an enemy healer.
If we go to combat positions, I definitely want to decrease FOBs to 1.
Well, and that would be the plan, right?
Yeah.
Is we have the fob as the objective. It's a capture point rather than...
I'm shooting an HMG right over my head. I guess I'll just stand up and look at it.
They have one far south.
Poor guy's in the tutorial right now. Shooting at you, soldier, you need to crawl. Sergeant Ross yelling at him.
Gets spooked, turns around wildly. Good shot from the front. Alright, this looks like it's gonna be the next big fight here. Oh, someone lost a tail rotor. Boom. I think that's one of the things I like the most about this this game mode is that like you never feel pressured that you're like, I'm not in the cap, we need to get in the cap, give up, get in the cap fast. Like it's like you can take your time. You can figure out how to work the problem in front of you.
Yeah.
It's like a fluid flow of gameplay rather than like, hey, yes, all right, we got it. Next one, all the way over there.
I do think that the changes that OWI have made to Goro and Yeho specifically, and then to a lesser extent maybe maps like Goose Bay that already had a heck of a lot of foliage, will be really helpful for this game mode. Because one of the problems on Goro and Yeho, and then maybe to a lesser extent still a problem on like Kohat and Talil, is that Talil being the extreme, right, is that there's no cover. And so when you had those larger radius areas earlier, and it's like, all right, everybody got to be in the radius, and you're like, shit, there's 3 areas with concealment on the map, and maybe 2 additional POIs within that. Well, how am I going to flank the enemy? How am I supposed to maneuver around within the cap zone beyond just being on the fob? Now, depending on the areas that you select, there is enough foliage and forest and shrubbery floating around that you actually can maneuver within a reasonably small area. Without just standing out like a sore thumb. Because that was a big problem. Even on, you still get a little bit on Kokon, but even the newer version of Kokon helps out a lot with the micro terrain.
I agreed.
Yeah, Goro and Yeho specifically will benefit hugely from that.
Oh, dude, look at this weird fight going on right here. We have Blue 4 in the center getting flanked from the east and south.
There's a lot of infantry on my mark right in front of me. 2 guys.
It's beautiful.
Understood.
These guys choosing to cross the open fucking field.
Well, that's pretty high grass, is it not? Or am
I mean, compared to like the tree line they could be using, I guess, but like...
You can't see them.
I mean...
Yeah, that's really tall grass there.
It is really tall.
3/4 height.
Yeah.
I think it's the corn crop, yeah.
The maize field, yeah, they're looking good.
Here's
I wish
Moosey
these 4
Moose.
baskets had shields.
Is he about to get tracked?
They are doing the tracking now. Oh. I don't know.
And
upon exiting the
Did he
vehicle.
get killed and then run over?
I think he got killed upon exiting the vehicle.
Yeah, the rounds are hitting the shield, the fire. LPV sounds so cool to use, but in practice is such a death trap.
The which one? The Fox Sound?
The one you're the LPPV, the one you're looking at now, yeah.
Yeah, Fox Sounds.
I mean, all open tops in vanilla are, right?
Right, but you're like, oh, you get 2 guns.
Yeah,
everything will be fine.
The cool thing is in the mod, right? Like, this is actually doing something, even if they're not hitting.
Well, and down the road, they've said that, long-term planning, maybe expect to see some sort of like system where you could duck or something. I don't know whether that'll ever actually happen, but that would really enhance survivability and stuff like that.
Problem is, they have some freaking marksmen on this Russian team, and I guess a bit of a flank too at this point.
What is DD mod? You can check the pinned link to read about it.
And what game is this on?
What game is this?
I know this.
Is this on console?
That I see.
Is this on mobile?
Yeah, the viewers. That's right. It's Android only.
This is a dynamic direction. It's pretty much exactly what the title sounds like. It's aimed to make decision making more dynamic in squad.
I didn't know I could mod games on Android.
Only on Android, they're not iPhones. iPhones can't mod.
True.
I bet all the TikTok users know what game it is, right, Dan?
Oh God.
They never ask.
Have you seen OHD's TikTok?
Let's assume I haven't. Let's assume safely that I haven't.
Every other comment. Is this coming to Xbox?
K10
Is this coming to Xbox? What game is this? It's the title, bro. It's the title of the channel. It's the whole page.
Emmer update.
That's why I'm there. To answer answer their questions repeatedly for the rest of my life.
Oh shit, Red 4 losing a fob.
So it's southwest of you, squad 3.
Yeah, Russians have a clear advantage right now.
And they're still losing somehow. I'm not sure how.
Well,
they are getting outkilled.
I mean, the British were kind of dominant there in that first engagement.
I wonder if they lost a fob somewhere when I wasn't paying attention.
Are the farmers stealing the tanks yet, or is that coming?
3 and 5, are you guys going back to defend Central Hab?
Hey, Average, thank you. Dude, I just love seeing the flow of organic gameplay right now. It's just so cool to see. Like, you know almost everything that these guys are doing are, like, their decision.
Right.
That's, like, a really cool part of this. Look at these guys. Just spitting fucking, laying down Scunyon with these 240s. Something is, I think, oh, they are getting a helicopter fucking, they're getting shot at from the door gun.
This is an interesting tactic.
Dude, look at this. Look at these nerds. Quad 240s just going at it.
And still none of their flanks covered.
Well, they just ended the game by taking out that fob. Dude, they don't notice they're getting shot at from the door gun. This is... you know they're having a fun time.
I mean, so... Karma, you know how the SPM features work, right?
The what?
The SPM features.
I don't know what that is.
It's the big arrow that you're getting over these people.
Oh, the pro mod stuff?
Yeah.
Well, if I click, I can go to
Go ahead
them, right?
and no, so go ahead and left click again. Yeah, there you go. If you hit E, you're actually seeing his views.
Oh, sure. Why am I, like, offset?
Probably an issue with the vehicle. There you go.
What? Wait, just kicked me out.
Marked to MREPs or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, SPM making this open source is pretty legendary.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Except now my camera's fucked up. How do I get off this guy? Alright, there we go.
Left click, yep.
Russia can take another fob somehow. I don't think they can, though.
Alright, contact southeast where we are abandoned Tiger.
It's gonna be close. I think Russia is gaining tickets though because they have 2 fobs down. So it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close.
I mean, they're gaining 1 1/3 a minute. They're gaining what?
Well, how is that math working if they have 2 fobs up?
5 tickets every 3 minutes.
That doesn't seem right.
No, 5 tickets every 3 minutes.
That's
That's
15
15
tickets.
Yep. 15 tickets every 15
So
minutes.
5 on the outside, 10 on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a chance to swing this back now because of that. Hey, games have been pretty close. Yeah, this game's only been 30 minutes. I think 750 is going to be the call. Getting a bigger pool will also let us round up some of these bigger numbers, and then the ticket flow can be bigger numbers too. You know what I mean?
They were pretty desperate for their eastern half, so hopefully that low on tickets too.
They're draining them too. I'll be very amazed if they can bring this back. But they're draining and they're gaining. Dude, I just love seeing the amount of fire coming out now that players are encouraged to shoot.
Yeah. I do wonder how our suppression tweaks are working though.
It feels good.
Not just the deceleration stuff, but we also, you know, went in and changed the speeds a little bit.
It feels good.
Excellent.
Russia defending their fob right now. Oh,
right now, ammo.
Another fob going down here.
Bring some
For Brit.
put ammo boxes down at like different points. So we're not allowed to run back.
It's an interesting placement. Rather bold.
It is a rather bold placement.
Southeast side.
I wonder if we should decrease the exclusion radius.
Yeah, it's, I mean,
It's rather large.
At this point, though, it's irrelevant, right? Because they can only place one fob.
No, they can place two right now.
That's interesting.
That's how it used to be. I don't know if we pushed the change that made it one.
I should have.
I thought they'd been placing two.
Yeah, they have. They have
Okay.
been placing up to two.
But I think I'd prefer they're able to place up to two, at least.
Yeah, two's fine right now, honestly. It's fine.
Yeah.
I think maybe if we decrease the exclusion radius so that they can put the fobs a little closer together would be good too.
Okay.
So, in terms of supporting.
Yeah, because otherwise it kind of incentivizes them to split them across the map, and that just doesn't work right. If we could chop the circle, the exclusion down by 100.
So back to defaults?
Yeah, default.
Okay.
Make sure the widgets also align with that.
What is it right now?
It's 100 of our default.
So is that 500?
It's...
That is 450, 400?
450, somewhere in there. Meter.
Oh, Brit's coming back with the ticket flow at 5 tickets plus 5 tickets per minute. I don't know how.
So this is Russian ticket flow, right?
7 tickets left.
It's plus 5 per minute.
Oh, that's confusing.
That is the team's ticket flow.
That's confusing then.
Why does it have the British icon?
There's only
Because British
the British
controls those,
lead.
Yeah, that's I'm not able to interpret that.
Yeah, well,
Fun game,
there's
guys.
only
We'll
so
figure
many
it,
ways
yeah,
to word that.
That was close.
Hey, the A10 string was wild.
They use their cars so
Hey, the A10. You gotta
Those freaking dual
Alright, I'm gonna quit being lazy and go actually do work. I'll see you guys later.
Is everything pretty much, what the fuck is happening right now? Holy shit. Oh my god. Wait, so are all the other changes fixed?
Should be.
All right, so I just need to go in and change tickets and change the zones.
I mean, I need to get the corners done, but other than that, yeah, we're good to go.
Okay, cool. All right. There's still like 4 hours before we do anything remotely close to pushing and cooking.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
it for
All right,
me.
time to get off.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Peace.
Later, Rebbe.
Was some fun times, not gonna lie.
It was pretty fun.
That's pretty funny.
So you guys laying down the fucking hate with those 240.
Dude, yeah, that was so fucking good.
Dude, doesn't it feel good to be incentivized to shoot in the general direction of the enemy? Doesn't it feel good that you aren't punished?
That was the first time I've seen the actual muzzle flashes with 12.2, and it was actually pretty nice.
Oh, they're awesome. They are really great. You'll see them on this map too if you're still playing on Lost Star.
Nah, I gotta.
With darker vehicle combat, you'll see them big time.
Oh, ho, 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 ho.
Oh, hey Lord, send me another one. I hit the wrong button.
I mean, right at the start with the tigers and like the foxhounds fighting down that
Dude,
road with the in-laws, it was so
That
awesome.
was so fucking like
It was
weird, bro.
great. Just like
It's also,
it was.
that's also great in vanilla. I mean, that piece of it is also super fun in vanilla now.
But
with
like,
respect
not
to
that
muzzle
many
flashes.
vehicles, right?
Yeah.
There were like 8 tigers they had though.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
it was
yeah,
like
that's fair.
actually
Because
they
they
were
had,
spamming tigers.
they had,
8
yeah, they had
foxhounds.
3 of them lined up against 2 of ours, and it was just MG fire versus
Yeah.
MG fire, and law shooting across the town. Oh, it was great.
I got so confused because
Hey,
I
guys,
was
what's the
talking to
plan?
command, right? And like then off nothing, I hear just fucking machine gun fire. It was pretty cool, honestly, but it's still squad.
Yeah, that's why I was sat on that
I'm
foxhound
gonna try to
because
take
I was
over
waiting
now.
for them to come because I knew they fucking would. So.
I kind of want to just run straight towards the point and have down.
Same here. That's kind of what I want to do.
Fucking
actually
Gimpy's best gun ever. Change my mind.
Are you actually planning on
Exactly,
playing
squad.
Karma, or are you just gonna?
I need to watch the layer balance.
Is that cool with you?
Yeah, Nate, I'll do whatever you guys want.
Cool. Alright. We're gonna hop into
How many helis do we have?
Are you literally
Just
just
one
streaming
right now.
admin cam right now?
Yeah, I'm making sure there's nothing weird else going on.
5 taking the Logi truck.
All right.
Yeah.
So when are we doing
we got 7 and 5.
Karmakut squad competitive casting?
No, I'm not doing that. It's a good meme though. I'll probably spectate this one, then kill the stream, spectate the rest while editing the layers, and then we'll push and cook, and I'll probably hop on a play after that push.
Yeet.
I will not be here.
I will not be here either.
I had planned tonight, but it is storming, so they're all canceled.
This team actually does not have any pilots.
Damn, that's sad.
Well, it's better that, you know, I'd rather they didn't have any pilots because they don't have anybody that can fly than they have pilots and they start out with 15 team kills in the first 2 minutes of the round.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can arrange that if you want real quick. Yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened at Kohat, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
That's exactly what happened, Shaka.
We died on the
I
bridge.
watched 3 helicopters that were full blow up for 2 different teams.
That's a dank meme, honestly.
Was that the map where we died on the bridge, got in a helicopter, immediately died again?
Oh no, that was the map before that. That was Fallujah, but then Ko had the next one where Acid was SLing. They had a pilot embedded within the squad, which is big no-no, and he crashed and killed his entire squad.
I mean, it's not a big no-no. It's just you need to be able to fly.
Hey, Ford, we're gonna come
I
back.
thought you had to make
Or
separate
we're gonna
squads for
throw a
helis,
Logi
no?
over there.
You do.
You
Well,
might
who
on
didn't?
this server. But...
Yeah, he was in the squad embedded. So
Wait, so well, but the heli, he did. The squad hadn't claimed the helicopter. Is what you're saying?
No, the pilot, like that entire
do some
squad
scouting
was in that heli. The pilot was one of the squad members.
Got it. That's fine. They just have to claim the heli with the
Oh
name
yeah,
of the
yeah.
squad.
Nope, they didn't either. They didn't do that.
Karma, can you make an admin broadcast saying no hot mic, please?
Wait, who's hot micing?
There were some people playing music.
Demonetization.
Cringe,
Here you come.
cringe stuff over their mics sometimes.
Can you use joysticks in squad?
Yes, you can. They
You
just added it.
can,
Yep.
but-
Yeah, I mean they added it quite a while ago, but yes.
I mean, back when I tried it, it was broken and didn't work right, and
They
resulted
have
in nothing but
updated the
crashing.
axes. You can bind different axes and adjust the curves now, which really that's the improvement that.
Let me set up my joystick. I
Chuck
might
is
actually
referencing.
bother trying to fly in squad. I didn't really.
It's
Last time I
the
tried
flight
it, it was
model is
terrible.
interesting. Is it the world's greatest flight model? No, but once you get used to it, it's pretty consistent.
It just feels so floaty because I see helicopters doing J turns and they're like doing 400 or 500 meter J turns.
Well, that's what I saw that Puma doing. I was like, holy shit,
Dude,
that's
yeah, he's
crazy.
drifting.
Did you see the fucking Puma that just baited us?
Yeah.
I'm asking Karma.
Oh, right.
He wasn't
Huh?
in camp. Did you see the Puma baiting us on 2 rounds prior to this one?
The Puma?
Yeah, on
Balaya.
Balaya,
yeah.
The UK pilot landed next to
I
pretty
didn't see
much
it.
all of the Russian infantry, did absolutely nothing, and then just flew away. And we all ran over there, and we were like, "Where the fuck is everybody?" We were about to roast the whole squad.
Oh, you thought they dismounted?
Yeah, and there
That's
was nobody
funny.
there.
That was such a good J.
Dude, and then the infantry pushed in from the south opposite of where he was, so that was a bait.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
then we
no,
shattered them.
yeah.
But,
Well, because they delayed the southern push by like a good 3 minutes, giving us time to move. It's true. It's true.
admin stacked.
Yeah,
freaking not fair.
Yo, is this
cheaters.
guy about to IED bomb the convoy?
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, is he in Jerry?
He is in the Jerry, but he's not looking down the road? Question mark. Oh god. Oh god.
Oh, he's just blocking the bridge.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. It's a full logi. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Oh.
And they just drive on. They don't even try to treat the
no.
wounded.
Hey, everyone be advised.
That was the
Not
most
our
painfully
problem.
realistic thing I've ever seen in squad before.
Turn the corner, roadblock. Oh shit.
Yeah, that's right. And then the guy's running away.
I feel like they didn't even realize that was like a
Possible.
player asset until because they tried to go around it.
Well, and then because the squad, they all died before the explosion on the admin cam. On their screens, it would have looked normal, but.
I can't believe that worked. He wasn't even like tucked in a corner. He was parked fucking dead center in the middle of the fucking road, not even facing the direction of the vehicle.
No, we're not receiving any contact.
Alright.
We are placing a fob down, though.
What is that NATO symbol on the
Alright,
map?
well, we got supplies
That's
for you.
squad leaders.
Cool.
Is that only for admin cam?
No,
we
that's-
need to drop
that's
supplies
normal.
if we want to get a second half down.
You didn't notice
somewhere.
that?
We lost that logi.
No, all the squad leaders looked like just like really big, wide fucking squad leader symbols.
Oh, that's because you have view by roles on. Which we do need to figure out how to fix.
Yeah, you were talking about that before, Carmen. That's what you had asked me right away when I asked
Reed,
about that. If that
You
was
want
an
me to just
issue.
meet you over there? Just
But
let me know when you want it.
In that case, let's see here.
I just thought it was really funny that the squad leader symbols were the same. They were just wide.
No,
Wide
they're
squad
they're
leader.
these symbols unless you have toggle by or show. Yada yada. I'm just setting up. Oh god, there's gonna be an ambush in this valley. I need to get over here. I need to get over here. I need to get over here. Quick, 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 quick.
Stroll wheel, stroll wheel.
Dude,
There you
there's
go.
mines and IEDs in this valley. Oh my god, here comes the first truck. Is someone gonna give it away? That is the question. Oh, someone fucking... Whoever that man is needs to be fired. Fire that man.
Didn't he miss the mine?
Oh god, they didn't even get up to the ambush point. They jumped the gun. This is the ambush point.
Oh, okay, yeah, they...
Dude, if he held fire, oh, this dude fucking jumped it.
To be fair, that's more a matter of court mine placement before team positioning, because you can't count on the blueberries to hold their fire.
I know, but still. You know how dope that would have been? You know how dope... Oh!
Hey, driving into a V-shaped, L-shaped ambush, yeah, that would be pretty dope.
That'd be pretty dope to watch. In Vanilla Squad. But this is what I was talking about, the early, mid, and late game of Occupation. Like, early game plays like Invasion. These guys are trying to get into the circle.
Depends on the layer, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that would normally be Invasion. Maybe we should just stick to one. Regular forces in it.
Yeah, let's just stick to one.
Mostly just insurgents.
Yeah, I want to just stick to one.
They spawn in the circle and...
Yeah, we're playing an insurgent map.
Looks like they're already all over the fucking circle anyway.
Right now, that's like conventional forces they spawn at the same time.
Oh, do they have any? Will they have that radio issue here as well?
They might.
Yeah. We have eyes on 2 different.
Damn, dude, I forgot that that's flagged for insurgents right now. Is this a one life event? No, this is vanilla. This is public squad gameplay on a modded server.
That we're on right now.
Alright, Haley's gonna be AFK for like a minute. I'll be right back.
Dude, look at those muzzle flashes. And immediately return with the 50 cal. Muzzle flash, 50 cal. Boom, 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 boom. I think the suppression is like my single favorite change.
Yeah, I want to get suppressed more, and then I'll give you some more feedback.
I want to know what it was like to be on the Russian side when we had
the 240s just go.
Yeah.
Oh shit! What the fuck? IDs? What's that? What that was? A 50 cal actually putting in the suppressive work, pushing them off.
We can't stay here. Gotta keep you.
Use the bathroom real fast.
Okay, squad flight model bad. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's incredibly floaty.
You need to practice. You have to go practice. You're not gonna be able to just pick it up.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm in practice right now.
Squad 1 in. Some contact over here. We're trying to get in the circle.
It just
Takes a lot of getting used to.
it requires way more collective than I feel like it should to just level flight.
Yeah, remember you can't change your curves up. That is
Yeah,
not
I've changed for the curves.
So it doesn't actually work on like like the aircraft doesn't have
Is
lift
Squad
and,
7.
like,
We got this this
How's it
compound
work?
over
stuff
here.
like that. It's literally just
totally
like
clear,
there
so we want
is
to
a
start trying
collective
to move guys
value
into
that
the
is
can.
flying level, and anything
So
below
you
that,
just
you're going down,
go
and
45.
You should talk to. Do you know Sea Warfighter?
So your forward moving speed doesn't affect how much collective you require. at all.
So Cove, a heads up, like the ticket bleed only comes into effect once 7 or more players. So like so long as the difference is within 7, like it's
500 meters to your north,
it's kind of irrelevant. But yeah, technically I am taking up one spot. But it shouldn't be enough to cause any kind of big change.
I don't know, Carmen, that one slot.
Yeah, that
could be
one
deciding
slot in the
game.
circle. I could be inadvertently sabotaging my team.
Yes, that's why we kept winning.
That's what it was.
That's what it was.
The fact that we had people on opposite sides of the enemy can.
Oh my God!
Fight each other.
I got
Are they on your radio right now?
Yeah, the new ragdolls look pretty great.
Yeah.
With respect to the like stop action, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite layers to watch. God damn, how are insurgents? Oh, they're trying to place down fobs and it's destroying their ticket count. There's a bug in the old version where, like, if US tried to put down a fob, it would delete the fob and thus cause a ticket loss. So like, people would be at 500 tickets on map try to spam put down a fob and, like, 5 times and end the game because every time they put it down, it subtracts 75. They'd be like, what happened? I think that's what they're doing right now.
Not yet.
Actually, no, we're starting at 300 tickets. What am I talking about? It's rather even there.
No, I mean, like, did they have one?
What's up,
We don't
Patrick?
need
We're
one.
we're watching how
There's no one here. It's empty.
the mod's playing right now.
We're facing a lot of contact in these hills here in Juliet 10. So just be careful.
Dude, they're still trying to get into the circle over here.
This flight model is like painfully
Troy,
simple.
can you give an attack mark where the
Squad,
contact
bro.
is right now?
Yeah, but it's like even simpler than armor.
Squad. What was that? Was that an arty strike? Maybe. Hey, what's up, Gage? Thanks for becoming the channel member, dude. Thoughts on any new EFT content? Really not interested in EFT right now, unfortunately. I don't know. I just got burnt out. There's not even a single thing I don't like about the game. I think the game is in a really good spot. I'm burnt out of it, which is sad.
Couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, the game's definitely in like a good spot, but like I still just... Oh no. Well, Slav, make sure you put it in the Discord channel.
God, Gimli is still playing it so much though. I don't know how.
What, this?
No.
Arma?
EFT.
Oh, EFT?
Yeah.
Well, he's new. I've been playing for 5 years.
Make sure you guys are putting shit
I
down.
think actually, I think he's relatively.
He is.
I
This
think
is
he's
like
played
his first
I think he's
wipe.
played. Is it? I thought he played
His
one.
first real wipe.
Top over here.
Oh, okay.
Update should be out in a couple weeks. Yeah, I don't know. It's just Tarkov is, I think the gameplay loop hasn't changed, you know? I'm someone that always craves, like, evolving gameplay loops. So, that's why I got bored of Squad, that's why I got bored of Tarkov, why I get bored of, like, X amount of games. I want to see the game continue to develop. I don't even know if it's realistic. Like, I just might have, like, abnormally high expectations or desires for game design. But, like, I constantly want to see... I want to see a first-person shooter live service business model where, like, updates are continually coming to the game that change how the game is played. You don't really see that in first-person shooter markets too much, I don't think. Right? They've released the game and then new content comes out. New, like, hey, look at this new gun, look at this new vehicle, look at this new faction. But what I like seeing is like, hey, look at this new mechanic, look at this new feature, look at this tweak, look at this. Look at what is actually going... This guy just got one tab. Fuck.
I mean, whilst what you're saying is cool, the issue I see is, I mean, think about the Tarkov inertia changes and like the amount of pushback and the amount of people that were like tilted about that, and that is obviously a huge gameplay change. But if someone was making even bigger changes than that constantly, like people get used to how to play a game and they like the game as it is, and
Yeah, I got it.
I think it's difficult for devs to like find a balance and like in how many changes they make and how much pushback they get.
Just fob up.
Yeah, make sure you defend it, yeah?
Yep, we got it. We'll need more build. We gotta close up these gaps.
Yeah, understood.
And plenty of ammo too. Frosty, we're gonna build up in this compound up here as well. Sounds good. Inside the build circle.
Am I worried about stream snipers? Not right now. I don't really. It's hard to stream snipe this game mode because fobs can't be ninja'd. That's like one of the only things. The two ways that you stream snipe is A, mortaring on top of people's heads randomly. That's one stream snipe. The other stream snipe is hitting fobs, like ninjaing fobs. But you can't ninja fobs anymore, so that's irrelevant. The only thing is mortaring people, but like I haven't seen that happen, so. Still winning. Hey Alpha, there's a post I made up above, or you can watch the beginning of the stream. I'm kind of running out of steam for talking. But the basics of it is in this entire circle you can do whatever you want.
Oh, that's interesting. They're fighting on the bottom left. They're fighting on the edge of the circle. So they're like, that's actually.
They're not in the circle.
Yeah, the blue team isn't quite.
Got any balance tweaks in mind for radios that are overrun but not dug down, especially conventional, who only get one radio? I would like to create a, this probably would be somewhat easy to do, but create a function where commanders can scuttle fobs. But yeah, I understand, like hostage holding radios. The thing is, like, insurgents don't really want to hostage hold the radio because you kill a lot of tickets taking a fob down. It's like 75 tickets. So, I mean, you could hostage hold radios, but like, we haven't seen that done yet. It could be cheesed, but... Hey, Ark, thank you so much for becoming a channel member, buddy. When is Fallujah? That Fallujah layer is bugged, so we're not, it's not gonna be on this stream. We played it earlier, but ticket counts are too low, so. What the plan is right now is I'm gonna watch the next Kohat map, there's another Fallujah layer, a Narva map, Balai, and Mudahov, so 5 more maps, we're gonna watch 5 more maps, and then take the server down, roll some updates, and then put it back up, and I'll be recording tonight. So I'll be on the server tonight, but right now, I'm just making sure all the layers are going roughly okay.
We're facing a lot of contact here in Julia 10.
Yeah, the good news is that because of the buddy rally feature, INS still has a fighting chance. It's like a skirmish going on out here. fuck? Just immediately gives away the position. And then a firefight erupts.
Hey, they're right on top of our hab over here in N11.
They're on your radio?
Pretty close.
We're gonna maneuver to get inside the circle to Juliet 11.
Oh, excuse me. It's a new flash hider. The muzzle flash is default squad. Those are the recent update.
Alright, 4, this is 5. We're coming back.
Hey, Derek, thanks for this money, bro.
Squad, really on this radio over here?
Yeah, we were engaging a few.
Yeah, Adrian, this mod works on multiple maps with armor and heli. We do not have any tank players, though.
Squad 5, do you have a GL shooting over here? Or, Squad 4, do you have a GL shooting over here?
No, we don't.
Squad 4, there's nobody here.
Holy shit. That rocket strike just hit that heli mid-air. Oh my god, this is devastating.
That squad just got wiped. Is that one guy alive? I don't know, actually, that... Oh no,
That was devastating. Wait, how is Skriller in? Oh, he's in a drone. That's why I was like, is he? How does he have admin perms? He's in a drone.
Does anyone else see the spinning heli wreck? At the southwestern.
Did 7 get? Did you get completely wiped out down there?
VBID.
Dan also becoming a lieutenant. Look at that.
Squad 4 is nowhere
Simp.
to be found.
Fucking simping.
Simping over here.
Hardcore simping out here, boys. What are you guys shooting at? The drone? It's kind of fucking dark out here, huh?
There's like a grenadier up here.
Yeah.
on us.
Those muzzle flashes really help with night maps.
Along with looking really cool, yeah.
These aren't our smokes that just went on top of us, are they?
I don't think so.
Alright, the hab area is clear on the east side. Don't know what squad 4, whatever, it doesn't matter. We're moving back out to try to get back on the hilltop north side of the east.
Highness is winning despite not having
We're
habs.
facing a lot of contact in these Juliet 10 hills here.
It's interesting.
So just watch out to the northwest people in that fob.
This mod does not merge with other mods. That's a huge problem.
Is there any way you guys could build a new machine gun to look at these hills here? Like squad 6 or 7?
Wait, what's up? I'm pretty sure we do have one. We just don't have enough guys to man the machine guns.
Because
yeah, exactly.
Any help would be greatly appreciated on these hills here. There's lots of them. At least I think there's at least a squad here.
We'll try to get the place down at K11.
Hey, yo, hey, whoever's up there, squad 6, tell you guys to stop shooting at us.
Yeah, there's definitely one more.
Oh, that your name?
Yeah, we're inside the hab, stop shooting at us.
Fighting's pretty sparse right now.
Do you want to go build some shit down at the the fences down?
Oof. Maybe 500 tickets is enough tickets. I think 500 tickets is enough tickets.
Hey, could we have other squads? Squad 6, could you peel off some guys and maybe come down to the compound and help support us? We keep getting ambushed here.
Yeah, alright. I'm gonna start working on layers, chat. Server is up for now. It will play through 5 more maps. Then I'm going to stop the server. We'll update the server, and there will be a ping on Discord when the latest update goes out, and then I'll be recording. But yeah, if you want to learn more, link is there, pinned in the description or in the chat. We're gonna do whitelist slots for this server through channel membership again, just like the MEE server. So if you want to get a whitelist, hit that join button. But for now, I think this is gonna be it. I've got a lot of work to do in the editor. Until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. Well, we might stream tomorrow, or we might have a video tomorrow. Not sure yet. But I'm very happy with this actually being in a remotely playable state, and I look forward to playing this more and showing it off more and seeing where it goes. That's all I've got for you guys. Until next time, take it easy.
Repeat that.